Very good afternoon to you from the Lakeside. Some special guests in for us this afternoon. The 2018 PDC World Champion Rob Cross, BDO favourite Daryl Fitton as well, joining me and Wolfie on stage. Very good afternoon to you guys. Good to have you with us. Always good to be at the Lakeside on a Thursday afternoon, Rob. But you've got a particular interest in our first game today, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. Leighton Bennett, what a player. I've never seen a 13-year-old be that good.
Incredible, isn't it? 13 years old. Typically, how old do players, because darts is one of those sports, of course, that age isn't as much of a factor as with many others, but typically, when did you start playing, for example?
I started late 11, so I was still early, but by the time I was 13, he's different quality.
Were you as good as him?
Definitely not, definitely not. I'm quite open like that, but yeah.
It's difficult, Daryl, isn't it? Because it's tough enough, like three of you have all achieved so much in this game, it's hard enough to get up on this stage and deal with the nerves and the occasion, but when you're 13 and 17 respectively, that's probably going to be their biggest challenge today, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I know these two lads really can't hear anything.
Don't worry, you keep talking,
Yeah,
we can hear
these
you.
two lads are awesome players, excellent. 12 when I met Leighton. Nathan's been here before, got a bit of experience, but this can't wait for this.
Yeah, right. Well, Wolfie, Leighton, as Rob says, just 13 years old already. He's putting some of the senior players to shame, isn't he?
Oh, he has, yeah, and he did so in the Cambridgeshire Open.
Yeah.
He came there, you know, I think what the idea was probably, yeah, well let's go and have a day out and learn a bit as we go. And he beats up some quality players along the way, and particularly in the final.
We're seeing both players that are going to be taking the stage in a few minutes on the screen now. Let's talk a bit about Leighton's opponent today, Nathan Gervin. Of course, got a bit of previous here, Wolfie, a runner-up a couple of years back.
Yeah, 2017 runner-up, yeah, and since then I've seen him playing in the Fender Masters in Holland. Very good player. Hopefully he'll do well and put in a good account of himself today. But he's got it a little bit uphill, I feel, because I've actually played Leighton in an exhibition and he's mustard.
Did he beat you?
I got lucky. I got lucky.
Rob, it's great to see a packed crowd as well for the players, isn't it? I mean, it's a jam-packed Lakeside today. There are going to be a lot of people watching our coverage this week, maybe the same age as these two, who are inspired by what they're seeing. What would be your advice to them?
In fairness, when I first started out, I practiced hard, and that was the lot. You learn a lot by practicing, and as you materialise, and then obviously you go and play in a pub for a league or the youth system with the JDC now. And there's a lot of things out there for the youth. Obviously, when I was growing up, it wasn't there as much, but now it's all changed.
The infrastructure's there. How important is the BDO in all this, that the BDO remains strong for player development?
I think it's massive for the youngsters, for the whole growth of the game too. And at the end of the day, we're all here. It's a job, and everyone, as long as they all treat it like a job, they'll all do well. And that's what it's all about.
Daryl, you're a key figure in the youth development scene in the BDO, aren't you?
Well, I joined Target in August as youth development. I've been travelling the country, looking at these young boys, girls playing. Some of these, Martin, we have got problems, trust me. There's so many awesome dart players out there. I think Nathan and Leighton were my first two signings, and they play each other in the final.
That's not a bad start.
No, it's brilliant, yeah. It's all downhill from there.
Right. Rob, win or lose this afternoon, they've got to be so proud of themselves for just getting to this stage in the first place.
Oh, definitely. The standard's very high now with the youth players. They can all play and they're all fearless. So they need a good pat on the back already. And whatever they do and whatever the outcome, everyone, I'm sure they both go on strength to strength and go on to better things. And that's what it's all about. It's a stepping stone. Take your experience, learn what you can, and get the best out of yourself in the future. So,
and they'll be looking at the three of you, and that's something to be aiming for sure. Terrific stuff. Great to see you both. Thanks very much indeed for dropping by. Wolfie, of course, sticking around all week long, keep part of our coverage. Well, what an exciting way to start this afternoon. The BDO World Youth Championship is going to be decided in just a few minutes' time. Leighton Bennett, Nathan Gervin, up next.
we have a little competition of the loudest opening match. Saturday afternoon has been winning right from that first session. We can't top it. We've tried, we've got close. I've got a feeling that the atmosphere in here today will beat it. So when I give you the walk-on for the first match, my opening line is, ladies and gentlemen. After that, no one is allowed to hear me at home or TV. They're only allowed to hear you and see you on that big camera up there on the gym next to the mirror wall. There we go. If you see me on the move, that will capture your every move, the look in your eyes, the excitement, the sounds. That's what we want here at the Lakeside. As always, I give plenty of dedication to the mentions given to me. There are a crowd of donkeys from Guernsey in the house. They're in the back of the hall. There they are. We've even got 3 from Jersey with us. Welcome to our friends from the Channel Islands. What's happening with us? Who's here from Scotland? Who's here from England? So yet again a 50-50 crowd on the Lakeside. So let's talk about the format for this final. Our 2 youngsters, best of 5 sets. This is a proper match. The BDO World Youth Championship final. Best of 5 sets. The players do take a short break after the second set. Now, we didn't do an official sound check. There was a half-hearted hi-ho. Let's do it for real. Let's see how high you can get the volume on the Lakeside. Repeat after me. Hi-ho! That was happy version of 2. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now time for a round of applause for our first match referee of the day, England versus Scotland, refereed by a Dutchman, Marco Maya! Okay, 30 seconds, that means everybody that's able to stand up on your feet. We're almost set for our first match of the day. Let's raise the roof, shake the chandeliers at the Lakeside.
Ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by the British Darts Organisation, this is the 2019 BDO World Championship Youth Final, and it's here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. We now introduce to the stage a Finder Darts Masters finalist playing in his second BDO World Championship Youth Final. 16 years of age, he's Scotland's #1, Nathan Garver. We now bring to the stage a Winmore World Masters Boys semi-finalist, the reigning Cambridgeshire Open champion, 13 years of age, Boom Boom, Leighton Bennett!
Well, Mace, I think it's fair to say that we are looking forward to this one. Out of all of the games that were in the programme at the very start of proceedings last Saturday, this one really stuck out. 16-year-old Nathan Gervin, of course, was here a couple of years ago and was given a bit of a darts lesson by Justin Van ter Houw, the two-time youth champion. But all of the talk has been about Leighton Bennett. Boom Boom, which is a tremendous nickname for a young man.
Well, I remember Ray Boom Boom Mancini, a boxer from America. So, well, I hope he's as hard as him.
Also, Fred Couples, the famous golfer, was called Boom Boom. He actually had a golf club named after him in the early 90s. So,
well,
the legacy of Boom Booms is good.
I don't think I can recall another youth player being spoken as much, probably since Justin, who you just mentioned, who won this event, winning senior events, won another one in York just last weekend, and he's been out practicing yesterday with Rob Cross, who he said he's phenomenal. He said he's never seen a 13-year-old kid like it. Well, a colleague of ours and a friend, Wayne Mardo, he played on this very stage, 1990 in the British youth, beating Andrew Mallet in the final, if my memory serves me correctly. And I know he's watching, he's tweeted, he's excited about watching this final, as are Wayne.
You beat Andrew Mallet in the final, Chick from Norfolk. Ah, I played Andrew Mallet in my county debut. Strange how these things work. Anyway, exciting stuff, and this is the biggest game in the short careers of these two young men.
I'm already glad I'm not playing either of them. My goodness, what a start from both.
What were you doing as a 13-year-old, Mace?
Well, I was playing darts, but certainly not anywhere near this level.
Yeah, I remember
58.
I was watching a lot of sport on TV, wishing I was there, but practicing in my bedroom. Didn't have things like this to shoot for up in the northeast, but the youth system now is just phenomenal. Really allowing these young girls and boys to flourish and potentially have experiences like this. 81 for Bennett then, treble 19.
What a great opportunity at such a young age.
56.
I wasn't sure about that bullseye, just shook his arm out, just a little bit of nerves maybe. Wasn't far away from taking the first leg there on throw. Gervin 110. 91. That leaves 74. Already seeing some new school counting here as well. Double 8 then, first leg. 2 fours isn't a problem. Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Got a bit about him, hasn't he?
Well, strap in, folks. Not
The
only
Gerwin Price effect.
Oh no. We only need one Gerwin Price. Such a great pace about him. Real steel about him as well.
Typical modern young player, isn't it? We've seen him on a conveyor belt from Holland. Well, now we're starting to produce them.
I was talking to Leighton Bennett. He's got a manager at the age of 13.
Oh, no.
You know?
Well, look at his shirt. He's got more sponsorship deals than me.
He's got more sponsorship deals than I've ever had in my career. But I was talking to John Archer yesterday, who of course manages Rob Cross, the PDC World Champion from 12 months ago. And I said, potentially this young kid could win this title 7 times.
95.
I don't think that'll be happening. I should imagine, as quick as they can possibly progress with him, as soon as he's old enough, it'll be development tour, challenge tour, pro tour, and we may be looking at a potential teenage senior world champion.
Potentially. But it's important for Leighton to really stay grounded, get his schoolwork done as well. Same for
needs a plan B.
Yeah. Same for Nathan as well. Both in the same boat, really. Single 16 for double 16.
36.
Well, Gervin's only 12 months or so away from actually playing on the development tour, isn't he?
Single 18. Tops.
37.
Little high.
And I think the pressure is all on him. He won't want to lose to the younger man.
Is that a guide? Doesn't matter anymore.
24.
It starts a double. Can be infectious at the start of matches.
40.
Gives Nathan Gervin a chance to get back into this match.
Tops. For one apiece. Nice and clean.
Second line into Leighton at 12
All on throw.
100.
This has the potential to go all the way to sudden death, like we had with Trina Gulliver yesterday and Karolina Podgorska. First 180.
140.
Because the 5th and final set of this
58.
match wouldn't have a tiebreak. It would just be the best of 5. The action of Nathan Gervin, I feel, has improved immeasurably in the last 2 years. It's a lot more rigid.
Well, is he part of... We met a young Scottish player actually down at Ali Pally, and was it Alan Souter that was running a academy up in Scotland?
Yeah, Alan's here, looking glorifyingly Scottish with a beautiful tartan tie on.
Yep.
Had a chat with Alan an hour or so ago, and
he's part of that system, isn't he?
He's really, really proud of young Nathan. I'm actually going to pop up to Arbroath in June and have a look at that system and give them some guidance if I can. Really looking forward to that.
97.
Yeah, good leave.
Leighton require 143.
Not sure why he didn't go for the treble 17. He might pay for it.
Oof.
He almost did.
Almost. That treble 17 would have gone in. He would have needed double 16.
Leighton require 24.
Double 12 then for the lead for the first time. Has to readjust.
18.
Chance for Bennett. He has had misses in the bottom left corner. Can he find it this time? Good guide, that.
Perfect. Oh.
14. Leighton require 6.
So quick, aren't they? I wonder if they're a little bit too quick. Only time will tell. That's awkward. Commentator's curse. Would have been awkward for me, Paul.
A rather special dart, that, because if he goes inside, he can't use that last dart. He would have given the chance back to Bennett. Beautiful order from this crowd. Very knowledgeable here on a Thursday afternoon. On Ladies' Day, of course.
2017 was a big year for Nathan. Semi-final of the World Youth Masters.
28.
And of course that run to the final here in 2017.
140.
I think sometimes, like on that last dart of Bennett, it comes out of his hand quite late. A little bit like that.
So it goes low.
Sometimes you find with younger players that they're so almost impatient to get the visit done.
Well, they want the 180, especially when the 2 treble 20s are in.
Yeah, you need to regulate their speed a little bit. That was a much better third dart. There wasn't a rush on that.
Didn't fall in on the last dart either.
Really good rhythm. Hammering that treble 20 here. There we go. He enjoyed that one. Bit of gumption. There's a little bit of Sean Ryder about that, giving it the Bez dance.
What a moment for the young man. He won't forget that one.
Yeah, first 180 on the telly. Won't be his last. Doesn't have to go for the ball, but he's going to go for it anyway.
56.
Now, can Bennett level up this first set? 2-8.
To break straight back.
Gets
it.
I've got to laugh a little bit because the kid's only 13 and he's given it like he's been here for years. There's a wee bit of testosterone on the stage.
Fifth flag is the lead in the 12 first. Kima.
Pesky kids.
Never thought I'd be in the commentary box with Chris Mason and Scooby-Doo would be quoted. I suppose it's pretty apt considering the average age of the kids on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
24.
So then, big leg. First set is up for grabs. That's his 6th 140. He's averaging 87.5.
83.
No wonder he's winning things like the Cambridgeshire Open, which we have to emphasise was not the Youth Open, it was the Senior Open that he won. It made the papers, it made the radio.
Well, he was all over the press, wasn't he?
It was a national newspaper that actually touted him as the next Phil Taylor. I think that was a little bit premature.
61.
Well, he's averaging what you'd expect a very tidy men's County A average would be.
60.
Around 29-ish.
He plays youth darts for Yorkshire, right? And senior darts for Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
It's got to be confusing.
100. Lady Uruguay with
And
121.
Gervin's got to be thinking, every time I come here, I run into some sort of superstar. Stays up top. 10 or a 6 or a 14.
89.
Lovely setup. And Bennett
So quick.
on throw in this first set is in charge, providing he gets double 16.
57. Lady Uruguay
Goes
32.
for the first set. And I think the pressure will come off him.
The first set. Leighton.
Having a blast, and why not? There are people all over that VIP area, very important people in the darts business. People from big manufacturers. It's almost like the NFL draft here today. Looking at the hot shots. Who's going to be drafted 1? Who's going to be drafted 2?
Well, I would be incredibly surprised
60.
if either or both of these young men don't go on to do big things at senior level.
45.
You never know, Mace. This could turn into a rivalry
Yes.
for the ages, very much like Eric versus Jockey.
Sure could.
I was watching
England,
that.
60.
England v Scotland.
I was watching that match this morning as I was getting ready to come here, and it just gave me spine tingling sensations all over again. What a match that was.
45.
That, of course, was in 1989, 30 years ago. These kids won't know anything about that
99.
final. They weren't even thought of.
I mean, Leighton Bennett's route in the early rounds, as far as I can go back with what data is available, he won 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, all against Dutch youth players. Where Gervin, 3-2, 3-1, 3-1, 3-0. So a slightly less clean route.
It's really important for these kids to enjoy what they're doing in the next few years, isn't it? There is going to be pressure on them, of course, but they have to enjoy what they're doing. 16 bull, bullseye. Oh, yeah!
Tremendous.
Love that. Didn't even flinch when he hit the 1.
Well, the academies I know a little bit about, and obviously Steve Brown's JDC, that's very much sort of based on it.
60.
They have a fantastic handicap system, but it's more about the participation than, you know, no one specifically wins or loses. And like you say, Paul, it's so important for
80.
young players that they actually enjoy it and play with a smile on their face. It's meant to be enjoyable.
100.
Do you get the feeling with these two young players that they maybe idolise the likes of MVG and Gary Anderson because they play fast?
They walked straight past me, mate. Didn't even have a clue who I was.
First dart of Bennett has been very good. Gervin has been chasing him a lot.
Yes. You think being 3 years older, a little bit more experience, but it's the scoring power of Bennett.
59.
Oh, he's just gone off slightly here, so a chance for Gervin to peg one back. I mean, there is something going on with that last dart, which no doubt his throw will evolve, as all do darts players' throws, and
100.
will eventually address that problem. It's quite simple. Just imagine you've got a fourth dart in your hand.
83.
We'll get into that in the next leg. Could be over this leg in a second. On double 16. That's in. Very good indeed. And every time he wins a leg, all he does is look over to his entourage. Imagine having an entourage at 13 years of age.
Imagine having a manager.
The only manager I had at 13 was when I was playing Pro Evo soccer on the Dreamcast, I think.
Got a manufacturing deal. Got all the sponsors on his shirt.
85.
Oh my goodness. What a future.
When he won the Cambridgeshire Open, Leighton Bennett, he obviously had to go back to school on the Monday.
36.
Teacher says, so what did everybody do this weekend?
I bagged £1,000 at the Cambridgeshire Open.
Yeah, I
miss.
just beat some world-ranked dart players and just, I can't wrap my head around it. Phenomenal story.
As you know, John, Paul, we've been answering people's questions. We have one in from Colin Crawford. Been a fan since the days of Redcar. So knows his darts, follows Glenn Durrant around.
60.
So that's not been bad for the last couple of years. And he wanted to know how the dartboard was devised. Well, there's so many conflicting stories.
92.
But the majority of it is based on the position of the numbers being as random as possible and getting penalised for inaccuracy. The actual sequence of the numbers was developed in the late 1800s.
76.
60 needed for double 8. No problem whatsoever. That's a vital break in this second set. He is flying, this young man. What a clean kill that was. Any sign of nerves? They're gone.
Forward lag is leading the throw first. Game on.
Must be a little edgy because there's a trophy on the stage to their right, and he just isn't missing now. He's got a bit of the Gezzies about him. He's very excitable. I don't mind that. It's good viewing.
27.
He's supposed to be excited about life and talent at his age. Gervin is up against it, just like he was 2 years ago.
And for those that want to find a little bit more about the origins of our wonderful sport, and the first dartboard being a bottom of a beer or wine barrel, Patrick Chaplin's done some fantastic papers on it.
57.
Give that a Google.
I would highly recommend reading Patrick's work. The Doctor of Darts. Oh, that was probably his best scoring visit this match, Nathan Gervin. They were really tightly packed.
59.
Every now and again, you just need proof that the future of the game is in safe hands. And
Birth certificate, that's what I want.
60. Later you require 145.
yes. No. It's still very good in this spot. He is going to have 2 darts for the set and a 2 sets to 0 lead.
We've got an absolutely wonderful crowd in here this afternoon, and they are captivated by this.
44.
Nobody can take their eyes off that stage.
20 for double 16. Double 8 to the rescue once more. Look at that smile. Look at that swagger. Look at that 2-0 lead for Leighton Bennett. I'm not sure he knows enough about ABBA as they take him to the break. But boy, oh boy, the future is bright. And the future could be Leighton Bennett if he gets one more set. World Youth Final, 2 sets in, and Leighton Bennett has got both sets in the bank. And what can Nathan Girvan do about it? He's going to have some sort of comeback, the young Scotsman. What are we in for now? We've had a lot of charismatic darts in those first 2 sets. And Leighton Bennett is very, very close to this very shiny trophy that is just to his right by about 15 feet. What has Gervin got to do, Mace?
Put about 10 points on his average, I'm afraid. Finding himself pretty much a throw behind at the moment. We've seen many great youth players. Mark Day was one that springs to mind, and obviously Wayne Marder, we spoke about him already.
Yeah, Mark Day was from Buckinghamshire.
Yeah,
yeah.
He was an incredible youth player.
58.
And then, obviously, we had in recent times, well, MVG. I was fully aware of his potential, the same as Michael Smith. By the time they were both about 15, 16, they were dynamite.
Andrew Jenkins wasn't bad.
Yeah, another great youth player. Went on to do good things in the game.
I've had a tweet in the break about this game as well from Inferno Harris. I don't know if that's his real name. But he said, I'd love my kids to be watching this match, but they're at school. Quite right too.
Well, will be available on the YouTube channel, BDO's YouTube channel later on, so you can catch up.
Well, you might have to catch up on a quick game because Bennett has taken out that 61 for the first leg of the third set, and Gervin is almost at the point of no return. It's looking very academic, and Bennett is flying.
63.
I wonder what the note was like for the parents writing for these kids to leave school today. Yep, Nathan can't come to school today because he has to go to Surrey to play in a rather important darts match. I was once accused as a 14-year-old by my teacher of lying to her because I said I'd hit 180 before. Well, I wasn't lying.
95.
And every single person in here is really enjoying this final.
No more so than us, as Bennett's average approaches 90. Should imagine a few of the men are thinking, glad this young man's not in the senior event.
He's got every possibility of getting better as well because that stance of his is so solid.
And when he grows again, he'll have another growth burst, won't he? So yeah, it's a frightening prospect.
It's one thing he will have to address as he gets taller.
92.
Technique has to evolve with your height, your weight, and all that kind of thing.
We've seen it before not work out.
No 144 checkout for Bennett. But a very good 60 to lamp that pressure on Gervin. Treble 18 he's looking at. Oh,
19 ball.
19 ball. Good lie. Needs it.
Oh,
he just misses
Nathan.
it.
Later Uruguay 44.
We know he likes double 16. Likes it even more now.
If it wasn't for this performance of Bennett, we'd be waxing lyrical about Gervin's performance, because that's been, you know, it's been really, really good. He's averaging nearly 78. He's at 8 140s, 8 ton pluses, 33% on his doubles.
Got a little peek at what Leighton Bennett did after he hit that double 16. He looked over to his part of the crowd and signalled one more.
58.
Are you a fan of that?
No, I don't think they should. I would encourage them not to be like that at that age, because, you know, you got to watch. You got to watch yourself on your way up. And he's coming from literally the very start.
60.
Yeah, he's playing darts in what looks like fast forward at the minute. The last thing you want to do is rewind.
I'm all for character and personality, but that doesn't mean that sort of thing. But there we go. It's just my bag.
100.
Straight ton from Bennett. The pressure again is on Gervin. Great first start. Can he get the full board? He can! Well, look what he's left himself as well. 94 again. Same route, because he is under pressure.
Knows how to do this.
94.
25 or ball. Treble 20, double 12. Can't do it, so what a way for young Bennett to win this title on a big finish. It's almost fitting, Paul.
He's almost smiling already. He'll be smiling if he hits double 8. Oh, match dart number 1. Gone, that was so close.
Oh, thought it was in.
Uruguay 66.
He's got to go. He's going for treble 14. That leaves 55. Tops left. Skin saver time. Just underpitched. Is it all over? I think this game's taken 5 minutes. Too many. Too much adrenaline in the arm. We've seen that a few times this week, but no more so important than that one.
Totally overpitched. 210s then to stay in it. Real big pressure. What pressure? I suppose they don't understand pressure at that age, do they?
I remember feeling pressure at their age about exams.
The only pressure I knew about was tyres in my BMX. The air in the tyres. That was about it at 13.
Gervin can come back from this deficit. It will be remembered in darting folklore forever, because match darts have been missed. Technically only 2 match darts, because he bust that double 8 with a double 11. I suppose a lot of people would say he's had 4 really.
Yeah.
45.
Got to give a lot of kudos to Marco Meyer, our referee. He's having to do his arithmetic in his second language very quickly indeed.
41.
Look at the anger on the face of Gervin. He knows that he can't afford any mistakes from here.
60.
I know that Bennett has won tournaments recently, but nothing as important as this. This will vault him into
58.
a very nice club of players who have won this title.
140.
Excellent use of that treble 20. He blocks that bed. He's got no hesitation of just forcing the next dart past it.
100.
Good grouping.
Yeah.
57.
Not possible on this 157 now.
Needs a treble though, Paul.
He does.
Desperately.
He
Now
knew
he's
it too.
he's faced with a tough finish if this doesn't go. The 127 nearly went
Bullseye.
for the title. And I think the first of many.
It's there! He's won it 3-0! And he's almost off the stage! That trophy has his name on it now. Lots of personality, and that could be a rivalry that we see in the future years. But it's not about the future right now, it's about the now. It's boom, boom! Leighton Bennett, and he's won it. 3-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move straight into our presentations. And who better to make that presentation than the reigning Lakeside World Men's Champion, Glenn Durrant. Firstly, we present our runner-up, receiving £2,000, Scotland's Nathan Garvan. Two times a BDO World Championship finalist, Scotland's #1, Nathan Garvan. It's now time to present that magnificent trophy, receiving £5,000 and the title of 2019 BDO World Youth Champion, Boom, boom! Leighton Bennett! Just 13 years of age. He's the champion of the world, England's Leighton Bennett!
Time, if you don't mind, to get a word with the champion, Leighton Bennett. If you could come and talk to me here. I'm just come around the other side. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would give us your attention, one of the benefits of being a junior world champion, Leighton, is you get interviewed live on Eurosport and Quest. So first of all, don't swear, okay? Secondly, how does it feel to be a junior world champion?
Just absolutely awesome. It's a dream come true.
You're very emotional right now. Tell us about the amount of work you've put in to become the junior world champion.
Well, I've only listened to one of my best mates, Rob, who helped me last night, and I've just put the work in and it's paid off, so.
Well, I don't think anyone would argue you haven't done it, but at the age of 13, it's an incredible achievement. Just tell me about how you feel the match went today, because you dominated throughout, really.
Yeah, well, I knew I was going to be up against a tough player, because obviously he's in this final, and I just knew if I played my own game, I can do it, and I did, so.
And just quickly, what does it feel like to hit your first 180 as well in front of this brilliant crowd of the Lakeside?
It is awesome, because I just wanted to put a top performance on in front of everyone. It's just brilliant.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. They gave us a hell of a tie. Please put your hands together for our junior world champion, Leighton Bennett, and his competitor, Nathan Gervine. Thank you.
Looked like a seasoned pro, didn't he? What a performance. Brave effort from Nathan Gervine, but Leighton Bennett, tremendous talent, our new BDO World Youth Champion. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, the women's tournament continues. See you in a few. Welcome back to the Lakeside. What a start, eh? 13-year-old Leighton Bennett with a sensational performance. Some pretty decent celebrations as well. Congratulations to the 2019 BDO Youth World Champion. Terrific way to get our action up and running this afternoon. Right, we're going to focus our attention back onto the women's tournament now. Let's remind ourselves of the draw. We're at the quarter-final stage today. Some big names out as well, of course, including Lisa Ashton, Dita Hedman. The number 1 seed, Lorraine Winstanley, safely through. She plays the 10-time champ Trina Gulliver. Jabromir de Graaf, that's later on tonight. Fallon Sherrod, so good in the first round. We'll see her a little bit later on as well. But first up, we've got the quarterfinal between the challenger and the woman who knocked Lisa Ashton out, Mikuru Suzuki. She's taking on the number 7 seed, Sharon Prinz.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2019 Lakeside World Championships, and it's ladies' quarterfinals day here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. We now introduce to the stage a BDO World Championship qualifier, twice a Winmore World Masters quarterfinalist. She's the reigning Japan Open Champion, Miracle Mikuru Suzuki! We now introduce to the stage a two-time Lakeside World Championship semi-finalist, the former Europe Cup singles champion, a World Cup winner for the Netherlands, Racing Angel, Sharon Prinz.
So ladies, follow that. We have had fantastic World Youth Final there.
Well, we've had a little look into the future, haven't we?
Just a little bit. Who will be the future of the ladies' game? There has been a little bit of distance between the averages in the first game of these two great lady dart players. Mikuru Suzuki, of course, taking out Lisa Ashton, Sharon Prinz, the 30-year-old, 6 years the junior of Miki Suzuki. But ranking titles, more for Sharon. But Mace, do we really see Suzuki's the favourite here?
Yeah, absolutely, I would. Although of her lack of experience of playing steel tip, she's a predominant soft tip player in Japan. She's a mega star down there. She has dipped her toes in the steel tip marketplace, but as I said, predominantly she's a soft tip player that's made the crossover, and with success. Yet to win a big steel tip title.
Yeah, Japan Open is very prestigious. I know that because a certain Andy Jenkins has told me on many occasions that when he won it, he was a millionaire. $1 million yen. I think it was about £12,000.
Well, the crowd have now settled. But all credit to Nathan Gervin, who played his part in that final.
I don't think it'll be the last time we see those two young men go at it.
Absolutely not.
Can't wait for it. Now, down to ladies on Ladies' Day. Great start for Sharon Prinz. You may think that I'm repetitive, but every time I see Sharon throw, I think that action is beautiful to watch.
So is this one.
Straight up and down. I think the only weakness in the throw is that she holds the barrel towards the back and sometimes it leaves the hand quite late.
Yep.
But the higher ranked Prinz, of course, very used to being here and ever present really since she's been professional.
Yeah, I wouldn't class it a huge shock. I make Suzuki just a marginal favourite because her average was some 16 points higher from the first round. And by that very nature, it's impossible for me to make Prinz favourite, but it certainly wouldn't be a shock if she beat Suzuki. Very, very capable.
95.
I think Suzuki's almost got to break a ceiling today because she has been to the quarterfinals of the World Masters a couple of times and didn't manage to make the semis. So is there a bit of a block there maybe? Well, it shouldn't be, considering she's got a bigger streak in soft tip than the Undertaker had in wrestling.
Sharon, a semi-finalist here in 13 and 15.
Level 17. She had a 1.56 in her first match, Sharon Prinz, which at the time was the biggest finish of the tournament in both the ladies and the men's competition. That has now been gazumped by 3 160 checkouts.
Sharon didn't win a title in 2018, which is the seedings are based on for this one, as we watch her win the first leg. 15 for tops. 10s.
45.
Ooh, she could have her pocket picked here. Suzuki has not been in this first leg at all. Not going to win it.
Yeah, she didn't win a title in 2018, but her season's been littered with finals and semi-finals. Made something like 7 semi-finals in the season. 6 quarter-finals.
Double 2 now.
8.
Big misses on those doubles. May cost her now. Makes things a bit tricky. 75. Just about to say she knows to hit the bullseye, because that's what they go for in soft tip a lot, but she couldn't get the 25 to give herself a shot at the inner bull, which is worth 50 points. Inside on double 1. She didn't read the rule book on double 1. 1 up, 1 in is what you're supposed to do. 16 for double. Oh, bad dart from Suzuki. Means she has a dart in her hand that she can't finish the leg on. Can Prinz get the madhouse this time?
Just what you don't need at the start of a tough match. Just to end up in the madhouse. Should be 1 up, 1 in. No, you've got to put the first one over. Top wire.
Got to give yourself a bit of a sight up. And twice now she's gone for double 1 and split it. Right at the start. Double 8 now for Suzuki. It's taken her a long time to get her sights in here. No sign of panic. Maybe there's a little bit of a sign there. She needed the single 1. Hasn't settled at all, Mikuru Suzuki. Too high. On all 3.
Totally overcompensating for the nerves.
They both know that this match is very important. They're both on double 1.
2.
Welcome to the Madhouse Brigade. Who can get it?
No score.
Not Sharon.
Mikuru, you require 2.
She busts out a smile. She can see the funny side. If you can have a bad leg, it might as well be in the first leg.
No score. Sharon, you require 2.
We've all been there, Paul.
We have. It's very difficult when you're both missing it.
No score.
Suzuki was there just having
Mikuru, you require
some sort of
2.
old-fashioned workout, just shaking her hands.
That's like the video game, isn't it? Finish her!
No score.
Trying to shake the nerves off.
Sharon, you require 2.
They're both seeing the funny side of it now. Once this leg is over,
It's more embarrassment than anything, Paul, because you just get mortified up there when neither of you can
No score.
check out.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I
we
remember
all have.
playing in
Mikuru,
the
you
Key Club in
require
Biker,
2.
and I threw 51 darts on the leg and lost it. That's in!
And Sharon, the first leg.
To the glee of the crowd. That's the bad leg out of the way, and Suzuki, it's a break and throw. That's huge. It's a very short format match, this. First to 2 sets, very much like the last 16. So in the context of the game, that could be huge. It's a section of the draw,
40.
which is very interesting indeed, because Dieter Hedman's out, Lisa Ashton is out, Corinne Hammond is out, Maria O'Brien and Colin
41.
Sherrick are the other 2 ladies in this half of the draw. It is Ladies' Day, of course. I'm wearing pink for Ladies' Day. What are you wearing, Mace?
100.
Well, it's-
Pick a colour.
yeah, all of them. The rainbow.
40.
How are you feeling at this point after you've had that bad first leg? And Suzuki has calmed down and is starting to play properly.
100.
I think there's any kind of bonus. It was just the first leg. If you have that mid-match, you can have a bit of a hangover from it. But she doesn't need any more of those either.
She's had 2 of those. And
35.
it's nothing to do with the board or her darts. It's just bad luck, that.
Yep.
Throwing it against the flight, and it just hasn't had enough purchase on it. But I was just about to say it, Suzuki's keeping everything straight, and then she hits a 1, so characteristic commentator's curse.
There's another one.
3 bounce out she's had. So unlucky.
You killed a black cat or something.
80.
Question here from Greg Smith. Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. How would have Maureen Flowers, where would she be in the game today if she was still playing?
Very highly ranked.
Yeah, right up
She
there.
was very good indeed. We mentioned yesterday she made the quarterfinals of the
North American Open, men's. You don't do that bad. She beat Leighton Rees as well.
41.
That ain't no accident.
No.
Mikuru, you require 160.
I mentioned there's been 160s in this championship so far, which is currently
3.
sharing the prize. Scott Waits, Christoph Kachuk
60.
and Ulla Mandigas, and they're all still in the tournament, so they still have a chance to snag that prize themselves, but I'm sure there's only one prize on their mind at this point, and there's a
25.
4th bounce out for Sharon Prinz.
I don't know what is going
Mikuru,
on
you require
today.
100.
You're right, she might have trodden a black cat. She break a mirror backstage.
Well, those 3 are currently on 1,666 pounds and 66 pence. For the
Dart players and their mathematics.
well, I preferred last night's idea of 1,600 quid each and put 200 quid behind the bar, but Scott is from Yorkshire after all.
12 leads 46. 10 or a 6. It's a 10. Double 18.
22.
Close.
Sharon, you require 140.
Well, this would be- It would be calmer, wouldn't it, if she'd have taken at the 140
Yeah.
after missing so many darts at double 1 in the last leg.
Well, she probably had 140 on the floor.
Mikuru, you require 36.
Easily. Double 18. Good miss, leaves double 16. Well, she's flown around the world to get here, and she's been all around the board on the double so far, and we're only 2 legs in. Good dart.
Great start. Double 15, go your own way.
75.
Well, she's left double 10, but she didn't mean to. She meant to go for double 15 there. That was a good 2 inches high. Double 4 now. That wire bent a little bit. That was so close. You can see that the karma and the aura around Suzuki is a little bit flat. How much can she see of that double 10? Not enough.
No score.
We said as one.
Mikudu, you require 8.
She looks almost ticked off. She's not playing well. Bends the wire again. Has that flight just obscured the bed? Yes.
No score.
Had to go high. It's about as much negative emotion as you get from Suzuki. Double 10. Double 7. Yeah, it's there. And a collective sigh of relief from the Dutch contingent in the crowd. It's 1-1 and a couple of very strange legs to start this match off.
I
think it's fair to say that talking about averages and doubles percentages right now, maybe not the right thing to do. Nerves can get to anybody. They can do funny things to your arm, your knees, because they do tend to knock up there. And they can fry your brain sometimes
60.
too. It's probably one of the reasons why you see so many young players throwing quicker. It allows them to not think as much.
100.
Rhythm. Muscle memory players, that's pretty much the new breed. You've seen that already today.
And of course with soft tip darts for Suzuki, her darts will automatically land in the board at the same angle every time, because when the plastic point hits the hole in the board, it wobbles a little bit, but ultimately is perfectly perpendicular to the floor.
45.
Yep.
Whereas in a steel tip board, your darts can land in lots of different angles.
Well, depending if there's a hard piece behind or a hard bit of the board, or it catches a deflection.
60.
And of course there's more weight behind a steel point than a plastic point. So hers in a steel tip board do land a little bit more upright. So she has to make
85.
adjustments for what type of the game she plays.
Plenty of footage. We're playing soft tip to a very, very high level.
Yeah, more often than not, she seems to come up against Natsumi Iwata in finals over in Japan, someone who I think we may see in the future. She's got a
65.
beautiful action and
Mikudu, you require
definite
96.
form. Triple 20 maybe for double 8. Might be okay. Can Prinz get her highest checkout back?
Another one of those tops.
Give it a real chance.
81. Mikudu, you
Choices on 66. I'll be very interested to see where she goes here. Conventionally, it's treble 10. Right there. One left. That's better. That's much better. 66 checkered for Suzuki. And that is a break of throw. She's in command again.
Game on.
Her average post that first leg problem on the doubles, it's been okay.
Have you tried those throwing sleeves, Mace?
I have, yeah. Doesn't work for me. I just don't. I mean, I used to play in a long sleeve shirt when I first started, and I think now if I'm ever at some kind of function and I'm dressed up well, dressed up to impress rather than to play.
60.
It's all coming through a few darts. It feels just bizarre.
I actually quite like it.
Yeah, you used one for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about the sleeves
you used
is...
to wear a shirt underneath.
Yeah,
it was the same thing.
Yeah, the almost body armour.
Yeah.
Just to try and keep warm, because I get cold so easily.
100.
But the thing about the sleeves, it's not so much the tightness of the whole arm you've got to get used to, it's the tightness of the top that pinches on your bicep.
28.
I can see the logic of it, because it keeps the whole elbow and forearm warm, and you want that to be the case. You don't want it to be cold at all.
And some extra stability around the elbow.
And of course,
60.
Anastasia Dobromislova she was one of the first steel-tip dart players in Europe to start wearing that kind of thing. And if you guys out there fancy giving it a try, I would recommend it, because you never know what it could do for your game.
It's all about tiny little improvements and percentages.
One thing we know about the flights of Suzuki is that she's had them in
For a while.
Well, they've been battered. We do see a lot of players who use brand new sets of flights pretty much every day, but I don't think these ones have been taken out in a little while. They've definitely been practiced up.
Might be lucky ones.
There's quite a bit of superstition, isn't there, in that part of the world, especially with the number 8.
Yep.
11.
She's not having her best day, but she is in front. Get the feeling if Suzuki can get this game done, it will be a huge sigh of relief.
Well, Prinz as well. She must be looking at this thinking, well, if I
45.
just found 70% of my game, this one's very, very winnable, because Suzuki's having a nightmare. She's
got very little mojo on that stage right now, in stark contrast to when she was baby sharking earlier.
81.
Both are feeling the adverse effects of that first leg.
Just goes to show both of these ladies played very well in their first encounters.
100.
Let's not forget, Suzuki
Shining
beat
Unifier
Lisa Ashton
109.
2-0. It's a lovely dart. He's 52.
Yeah, she averaged nearly 80 in that one.
28 left. Confirmation from Anthony Dundas.
And we know that was far from the best version of Lisa Ashton.
74 left with 2 darts in hand. Doesn't get the treble 14, so it doesn't get a shot at a double.
Shining Unifier 28.
Prinz to break back. Double 3. Can't use the last dart, and she's going to leave herself on double 1, or she can bust it. She can come back to double 14, hopefully with Suzuki. Takes a little breath, exhales and tops. It will be for the set. She's got it. Maybe a set to forget, but it's in the bank for Suzuki anyway. And maybe the fact that that set is over, Mace, will give them the opportunity to just press forward.
Oh, shackles off time, isn't it? Should see them both play with a bit more freedom.
60.
Both are way, way better than how they've performed today.
When you're in this position as well, how do you get it back?
100.
Sometimes it's just about saying to yourself, I heard it from Dean Reynolds earlier in the week, he was concentrating at one point on just hitting 320s, just keeping it straight.
Yeah, I just, for me, it was just picking a spot above that 60 and just trying to put them all in that general area and hope to start finding the 60 with some regularity.
Yeah, start in the 20s and just start letting them drop.
Yeah. It's easier to make those initial adjustments, very much just like that.
100.
You can see already that they're a bit more focused now that that set is over.
100.
Maybe a little bit of urgency in this match is what it needs. One more set for Suzuki and she'll be through to play it against Fallon Sherrick or
41.
Maria O'Brien, and the bookies have Fallon Sherrick as the favourite for the title.
Yeah, she's She was outstanding in her first game. She looks the one to beat right now. But she's not won it before, so you'd have to look at Anastasia, who has plenty of experience.
This is the stuff.
140.
Great 140 to get herself
Shannon, you require 144.
down to a very doable finish.
60. Mikuru, you
Now,
require 100.
Is it advantage Suzuki here, or is it advantage Prinz? Time will tell. Maybe advantage Prinz. She should get a shot at the ball here.
44.
Yeah, she misses the
Shannon,
treble
you
20.
require 84.
She'll go 14 ball. Make sure of the big 14. Ball.
39.
Missed by quite a
Mikuru,
way.
you require 56.
And those misses are giving Suzuki chances. Is she going to get a chance?
Prinz is 1 from 25 on her doubles. Having an absolute nightmare. Miscounted.
She's actually thought
24
of it.
scored,
22 scored.
Yeah.
Leaves double 17.
39.
Getting me at it.
Mentally frazzled.
Shannon, you require 45.
Double 16. Plenty of the bed to aim at.
13.
Can't find it. Now Suzuki did leave double 17, as we say. Well, you left it.
Yeah, you hit it. So 9 or a 1. Oh dear.
Now 1 for double 1. There's only one way you can get that. That.
No score.
No score. We're back
Shannon,
to
you
the same
require
sort of thing that
52.
happened in the very first leg of the contest. Double 12.
8. Mikuru, you require 17.
Can't miss the 9 this time. Got so many choices from 17. 9 is hit. Double 4. Desmond. 2-2's in. If you'd have said to Mikuru Suzuki that she'd be averaging 51.6 after this point of the match, she would say I'd be 1 set down and 1 leg down, but she's actually 1 set up and 1 leg up.
Another question, Paul. What is the difference between soft tip and steel tip? Well, I don't play soft tip, but you do.
Well, essentially with steel tip,
100.
the darts are very sharp, and you're throwing at a board made of sisal with metal wires to separate the sections. With
121.
soft tip boards, you throw from 8 feet as opposed to 7'9 1/4" in steel tip. We throw at something that resembles an arcade machine, and it makes lots of funny
100.
noises. Has a lot of bright lights on it, but the board is made of plastic and rubber, so it's very safe for kids to play.
58.
But the soft tip machine does all of the calculations for you, and it's wonderfully fun.
We play lots of different games on it, don't you? 701, 501, cricket.
Count up,
Yeah.
all sorts of things you can
56.
play against people around the world because they're linked up to the internet.
There's a camera on the minute there, so you can see your opponent, and your opponent can see you.
Yeah, when I was practicing for the World Championships, I had a
45.
break for an hour, played an hour of soft tip with Adrian Gray down in Hastings at the 180 Sports Bar, and it was just great fun for an hour. It took my mind off the pressure of practice.
And the points are
100.
actually plastic, and they screw in, don't they?
They do. Sometimes the points can break because they're made of plastic, but you just screw another one in. And sometimes the points get stuck in the board, but that's where the officials come and get a pair of
81.
pliers and
Mikuru,
pluck
you
it out.
require 145.
Just about to see if she can leave this handy. She might be in the driving seat. That's a very good
94.
treble 20 from Mikuru
Shannon, you
Suzuki.
require 100.
Treble 20.
Straight up the middle.
Yep, treble 20 tops. Well, that's that bit taken care of. 2 darts in hand then to level the second set. Tens.
That's
Here's
better.
on the second leg. Shannon Prinz.
Not really about
Third leg, Mikuru
that
to
doubles
go
percentage.
first.
It's about getting
Game on.
chances now and taking them, and that is a very good outshot from Sharon Prinz.
Well, she'll be, if she does lose this match,
100.
Prinz, and watches it back, I wouldn't, because you'll be absolutely fuming.
Are you the kind of player that would watch back games that you'd lost
100.
More often than I watch the ones that I'd win, don't learn anything from winning.
This is true. What is it the famous poker player Daniel Negreanu says? Not learning from your mistakes is the mistake.
Don't practice to get it perfect, practice to not get it wrong.
You're getting all philosophical in the commentary box.
Glad you said that.
I almost got it wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
Aristotle hour.
I'm not going to try and beat Sid Waddell. He had a degree from Oxford. Can't compete with that.
100.
It's a remarkable focus in the face of Sharon Prinz. There's a lot to admire about her ability. Everybody is allowed a day off now and again. It's like John Part says, there are no days off, but sometimes you have a day off the board.
100.
Yeah, everybody can have an off day. I've seen the best of them do it.
Yeah, they're starting to find their range a little bit more in that 60, just staying straight. Suzuki's only 2 legs away from the match. Staying downstairs to try and get 96, and 58 will have to be. Great first start. Treble 10 now to lead double 16.
85.
She does have that dart now and again where it just shoots out of her hand.
I think that might be down to the grip, as you picked up on at the start of the match.
Double 16. Oh, that's better from Suzuki, and that's key.
What a way.
Like buses, isn't it?
Yeah.
None of them can hit double 1, and then Sharon Prinz takes at 100 check out, and Suzuki follows with an 88.
Missing is as infectious as hitting.
81.
Looks so much more relaxed now, Suzuki.
Seems to have picked up her tempo a little as well, I think.
Yeah, well caught. I agree with that.
60.
After this performance, you've got to think that whoever wins the match between Maria O'Brien and Fallon will be the favourite. But Suzuki, seeing that finishing line, she's not the kind of person who would slow down. She's not missing now.
Definitely
not missing
a bit
at
more
all.
rhythm to that.
And the smile is back. That smile's going to get even bigger if she takes out 100, because that'll be match over.
The Kudo you require 100.
Can't miss. Double 10.
80.
She has missed. Time
She'll
on her
be
side
back.
though.
Yep. Plenty of time.
Maybe it's because she's not wearing a lucky headband.
140.
Damaged Nick Rolls' hand.
20.
Double 10. Yep, that's it. Mikura Suzuki has had one of those games this afternoon that she may want to forget, but she'll remember it for other reasons, because she is in the semi-finals of the Women's World Darts Championship, where she will play either Fallon Sherrick or Maria O'Brien. We'll find out who wins that game. But Japan have another win in the bank.
Welcome back to Lakeside. What a week Mikura Suzuki is having. First, she knocks out Lisa Ashton, the champ. Now she's in the semi-final of the World Championships. Even better than that, she gets to talk to Georgie.
Thank you very much. I've been brushing up on my Japanese to be able to say Omedetou Mikuru. Thank you. I feel like maybe that win wasn't as easy or enjoyable as the first round.
今回の勝ちは1ラウンド目に比べて、そこまでエンジョイできなかった感じがします。
そうですね、ちょっと日にちが空いたせいか、お互い多分ちょっと緊張したんじゃないかなと思います。
Yes, I think we were both nervous, so we couldn't play our darts as usual.
But a win is a win, and Mikura, you are first through to the semi-finals. So how do you feel?
すごく嬉しいですけど、もっといい試合をして次の試合に挑みたいと思います。
I'm very happy to win, and I would like to play even better in the next round.
And we wish you the best of luck in the best round. Thank you for speaking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Good work, Georgie. Nailed that. Congratulations. Very proud of you. Now, who's she going to play in that semi-final? Well, let's find out as Maria O'Brien takes on the number 6 seed, Fallon Sherrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2019 Lakeside World Championships, and we continue with Ladies Quarterfinals Day here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. Let's introduce to the stage a Winmore World Masters semi-finalist, a Europe Cup Pairs champion with England, Obi Maria O'Brien.
Cause you woke up in the morning with the initiative to move, so I make it harder. Hold back. If you think about it, so many people do be cool and look smarter. Hold back. And you shouldn't even care about those noses in the air and the crooked stairs. Cause there's a party over here, so you might as well be here with the people care. Don't hold back, the world, the time has come to. The world, the time has come to. The world, the time has come to. Galvanize. Come on, come on.
We now bring to the stage a Winmore World Masters and Lakeside World Championship finalist. The current holder of 9 world ranking titles, she's the reigning BDO World Trophy Champion, Fallon Sherrick!
Well, Fallon played brilliantly in reaching this stage, Fallon Sherrick. There's Maria O'Brien. But 2-2 in previous meetings. Fallon beating Corinne Hammond in the first round, averaged over 89 in the process. But is she a 6-1 on shot, which is what some of the bookies are saying? And to me, that's inflated odds. I don't know what you reckon, Paul.
No, I don't think that's right at all. I mean, they played each other very recently, and Maria O'Brien won that encounter. It was a very important match in qualifying for the PDC World Championships. And Maria knows how to play against Fallon, and I think Maria gets something playing against Fallon. She knows she has to play well, she knows she has to prepare well, and I think this could be a decent match.
Yeah, I was chatting to Maria. She was going outside for a breath of fresh air, and I bumped into her, and she's an England teammate, of course, of Fallon's, so she knows all about the way she plays. She knows everything about her as a person and as a player. She says she likes her very much, but she doesn't fear her in any sense.
No point having any fear in this game, that's for sure. But the bookies have got Sherrick as the favourite for the tournament.
Oh, for the tournament, yeah, she's something like 5-2, wasn't she, before the day began?
That's it. You may be forgetting about #1 seed Lorraine Winstanley. I know she had a poor first-round game, but she got through.
Do you know you could get... I'm sorry to go on about betting, but, you know, I mean, she was being quoted at 10-1, which just seems crazy. She's a far better chance than 10-1.
Absolutely. Well, Mikuru Suzuki is in waiting. I think the post-mortem on that performance has probably just begun. Statistics you'd probably want to forget, but the most important thing is she's still in the tournament.
The usual excitement back home in Japan, no doubt. I'm told that there's an enormous spike on BDO YouTube viewings whenever she's on stage, and that, of course, is from enormous popularity back home.
I'd love to say what it says on Mikuru Suzuki's Twitter page, but I can't understand Japanese, so I have to brush up on that for next time.
Go and have a word with Georgie. She seems to be quite fluent in it.
Really?
Well, she managed to say well done or congratulations or
very
something.
Very good. Of course, she has a translator here. I believe his name is Tsuyoshi.
57.
Fine man. Seen him around some of the best players in Japan in the last few years. He's a great advocate for Japanese darts, and these two ladies are very great advocates for the English game. It's southwest of England versus the middle.
Plymouth against Milton Keynes. You know, Fallon's never had a tournament victory against a sister.
Yeah, they played each other in a couple of days in Turkey a couple of years ago, and Felicia took them both. Wow, double 13.
Well, that was a brilliant attempt at 146. Let's see how Fallon can get on with 141. Treble 20 she's looking at, can't be done. So, Maria looking to hold on to her throw here. Double 13, and nicely done. Well played indeed.
Yeah, showing a little bit of aggression there. Very pleased to get that double 13. Not the easiest double for a left-hander.
Eliminated in the last 16 last year, Maria. But I think it's kind of known around the game that she's a better player than that, and there was a feeling that she was going to give Fallon a real examination here.
She's improved in the last 12 months. That is definitely the case. I think this has been a breakout 12 months for Fallon, taking that world trophy.
Nine BDO ranking titles.
Around the time where she won that world trophy, she was the best player in the world, unquestionably, because everywhere she went, she won.
And again, Maria staying with her in this second leg. Early stages, but it's a quick format, these women's matches. First to two.
Spoke to Fallon very briefly after her first win against Corinne, and I asked her if she was going to stick around and practice, and she said she had to go home and take a little boy to school on Monday, little Rory.
Good to play well at darts. The most important job, looking after your son.
May have been Sherrick's best visit of the match right there. Second 140, but it was tightly packed. As Ant-Man watches on.
84 required. Can still be done. Not now. But a massive ask for Maria O'Brien.
Had a shot at a 146 in the last leg. Can she get the 155? Back up with a 60 now.
99.
So 56 to equal it up. Tops she needs now. Double 10. Pressure a little bit. And nicely done.
Yeah, Fallon Sherrick was not really engaging much with the crowd on the walk-on. She just wanted to start playing. And that is typical Fallon, really. She likes to get on with things. I've got a nice little story for you, John, about Fallon. We went to Hong Kong just over 12 months ago to play a soft tip competition
Yeah.
with Adrian Gray and Andy Jenkins, and the pronunciation of the MC in Hong Kong for Fallon's name was something I rib her about many a time. Called her Fallen She-Rock.
I love it. Fallen She-Rock. Oh, that'll have some legs, I think. That might stick around.
Sounds a bit like a superhero.
100.
She doesn't actually have a nickname.
She has now.
Yeah. I affectionately call her Superstar because I think it's got a good ring to it. I'm calling her Fallen as well now. Fallon Superstar Sherrick. She will be a superstar if she wins this match.
If she wins this tournament. And if the bookies are right, then she is the one to be beaten.
Can't underestimate the likes of Anastasia and Eileen de Graaf, Lorraine Winstanley. 152 from O'Brien to leave double 12. That will definitely do.
She's playing well. She's averaging at the moment 93 nearly, is Maria O'Brien. And now she's got the chance to hold her throw, double 12. Oh, beautifully done. That is a really good leg of darts.
Yeah, she didn't mean to hit the double 16 to set up double 12, but who cares when you get both of them consecutively. Playing very well, Maria.
2 doubles out of 3 helps, as well as scoring well.
81.
She got to the quarterfinals of that BDO World Darts Trophy, which
16.
Fallon wound up winning.
I think Fallon would say that when she won that tournament, that is the best she's ever played. And she was definitely riding a wave of confidence after that.
85.
She's very young as well, Fallon. She's got a long career ahead of her.
Just 24. Kind of regarded as a major, isn't it, the World Trophy? When
64.
Lorraine Winstanley finally got her win, was it the previous year, in front of the television cameras. You know, it was a real breakthrough performance.
Yeah, it's nice to get that one in the bank because it gives you the confidence that you can do it again in other tournaments. This, of course, is the biggest one of the lot. Only 4 ladies have won this tournament. Trina Gulliver, Frances Hunselaar, Anastasia de Bromislova,
60.
and Lisa Ashton. 2 of those ladies are still in the tournament.
Could be a new name on the trophy, though. Certainly these 2 will hope so. And Sharon Fallon is going to have to dig in deep here, because Maria O'Brien is poised to capitalise on any error here on the throw. And this is a mini opportunity. A couple of trebles here for O'Brien, and look rather handy.
Yeah, Paula Jacklin looking on, who was eliminated yesterday.
137.
That's precisely what she needed.
Might stay there. Just shy on that second 60. Would have left double 11. But that's a perfect setup, and she might not get a shot at that 32.
74, great dart, double 16. Oh, that's unlucky. I think she thought that was in.
I agree. Fallon hit double 16. Yes. A sneaky feeling, John, that this game was going to be very tight.
Yeah, me too. Those who have put a great wedge of cash on to drive Fallon's odds into the prohibitive area of 6-1 on must be feeling just a little bit stressed.
140.
That'll help the cause. Average is very, very handy indeed. Sherrick about 5 down 41 on what she was doing in the first match, but that was the 5th best performance on this Lakeside stage's history in the ladies' game. So we can allow her a little bit of regression. She might not be able to regress 59. Because O'Brien's playing as good as I've seen her for a while.
O'Brien holds this leg, takes this one, and she takes the opening sets, and darts like this are helping.
140.
Nothing in it.
Sherrick was looking at the 18s there because 4 of them with a treble 20 would have left 170.
81.
That'll do. Gets her in touch with O'Brien.
What a good first set this has been.
100.
Last match, both those players struggling really to get going. Not the case here. O'Brien will come back needing Shanghai. And what is Sherrick going to be leaving for herself? Well, it's advantage O'Brien.
It is. In a set that she's expected to win because it's her throw. Great last start.
164.
Can be done. Treble 20 would have been the first port of call. But now Maria O'Brien has a dart, has 3 darts to take this opening set. 40 required.
Tops isn't a problem. First set to the left-hander. Paula Jacklin is definitely in the corner of Maria O'Brien by the looks of it. And that was a very good quality first set, averaging 90, O'Brien. That would have beaten a lot of the men in the tournament, that's for sure.
Well, there'll be a lot of her friends down in the southwest of England watching on here and saying, yeah, this is what she does to us. This is regular.
Yeah, very purposeful in that last visit from O'Brien, who is evidently confident now that she's taken that first set.
Fallon is now 10 points adrift of Maria on the averages. In fact, more than that now. O'Brien averaging 93.5.
Maria's probably saying, why not me for this title? Why not me? Everyone's talking about Fallon and Anastasia and Trina. Why can't she win it? There's no reason she can't win if she plays like this.
99.
This is a really, really solid performance. All-round performance, doubling well as well. 3 out of 6, scoring heavily, and Sherrick has it all to do.
59. Marie, you require 122.
Doesn't really have to go for the 18s here, but does anyway. She doesn't have to go for the ball.
82.
Sensible stuff to leave tops after 12.
13 dart leg beckoning, goodness me. Fallon just hasn't been able to replicate what she did in the previous leg. And the break of throw. And Maria now is really motoring. And if preliminaries, the qualification series for those places in the PDC World Championship, and she'd beaten Fallon then, and she really, you know when you're talking to somebody, Paul, whether they genuinely fancy it, and she quite definitely does and did.
Well, maybe the pressure was lifted by getting her first win on the stage, of course, a few days ago, and the fact that everybody was fancying Fallon to win this match. So playing with a little bit of freedom and no weight on her shoulders. Here comes Fallon.
140.
Well, that's a great riposte. It's a long way from over, though. There could be some more twists and turns here as the finishing line comes closer. Then the nerve ends start to tingle. Another good visit from Fallon. 120, a very makeable check out. She could break straight back here.
She needs to.
60.
Those treble 20s that were being battered in the last leg from O'Brien, just on here in this leg, just over the top of that. That's
60.
fine.
143.
143.
Can't do it now. So Fallon Sherrick will,
59.
well, she should have a couple of darts at tops.
No hesitation. Plenty of room over the top of that one. Tens has been good to her. And it is a break back straight away. Appreciation from Laura Turner there as well. Who's just behind Paula Jacklin, who's been working for the BDO as opposed to throwing on stage a few days ago. Back to work. And that's exactly what Fallon's got to do. Poor start of the leg.
Oh, Maria missing an opportunity here.
28.
The impetus has gone from the O'Brien game. She needs to rediscover that snap in the throw.
16.
Fairly indifferent scoring in this set from Sherrick, but she's still with her, averaging only 71 in this.
16.
Maria's average coming down now. That's only 79 in this set, and overall in the match she was over 90. It's now 86.
And Sherrick would love to take this set, and if she does, you get the feeling that the break, which comes after 2 sets, would come at the wrong time.
100.
What O'Brien wants is to take this set and be walking off the stage because she's won it 2-0. Didn't like that one at all, Fallon, because you don't like 9s on the end of your finishes or your numbers.
100.
Well, Maria is right with her. Metaphorically speaking, breathing down her neck.
Yeah, coming down to 19s to try and square it off, and that's fine. These are on 78. It'll be the first hold of throw in this set.
59. Fallon, you require 78.
So 78, can she do it? Oh, 74 left now. Treble 14's a great dart, double 16.
62. Maria, you require
She weaves it away
154.
and hopes that she'll be back. Still hoping. Will be back. I'm surprised she stayed on the 60 there, Maria.
68.
Double 8 then.
Fallon, you require 16.
Big moment this for Fallon Sherrick, and looking composed now, and gets her nose ahead.
Unflappable. It's one thing I know about Fallon. She's hard to break.
4 leg is Maria to first.
I've actually watched Fallon play against Mikuru Suzuki in the Far East, and people were enthralled by the game. 2 definite lady superstars of flinging the tungsten.
Got to get through this match first. And she is still behind by a set to 0. But takes this leg, and that'll be all square, and should be off the stage, able to just have a little breathe and to reset. A breather. Everybody has a breather. And to reset for what would then be the decisive set.
It's been quite a breathless week so far. We're only getting into the meaty bit. Quarterfinals day of the ladies today, as well as some of the men's matches. Really looking forward to seeing what Scotty Mitchell serves up this afternoon.
Yeah, that's next up. Scott Mitchell against Krzysztof Kciuk, the Polish competitor. And Scott Mitchell, another one who's a red-hot favourite to win that. Battling for a match against Jim Williams.
If anybody wants to get in touch, of course, use the Twitter handle @BDODarts or #BDODarts. We'll endeavour to answer your questions. I'd be very interested to hear from everybody at home as to the sound effect of Kciuk. What do you think it signifies? Please let us know.
120, treble 20 needed. Yes, good dart. Tops, this is for it.
80.
That would have made it 2-2.
Sherrick wants the lot. That'll have to do.
Well, O'Brien has to get this and does so. Doubling has been good from both of these women. 50% for Maria O'Brien, 57% for Fallon Sherrick. Very good on the doubles.
Do or die time for Fallon.
41.
Win the leg, we go all the way. Lose the leg, she's out.
Well, 41. She looked anguished when that was posted.
60.
Maria not quite jumping on it as she would have wished. Has to settle for 60.
I know that Felicia, twin sister of Fallon, is in the crowd. She'll be biting those fingernails, I assure you.
Well, Maria has had one opportunity to really seize control of this leg. She's got another one here, and she's taking it more efficiently. That's what she needed.
Got to get away from that one segment. She's had 241s in this leg, and she's visibly displeased with how this leg is going. She has to win it.
27.
It's how the match is going. It could be all over here. 341, and Maria O'Brien has a steely look in her eye. That's another ton.
She's forced into perfection, is Fallon. She's not had any trebles in this leg at all, and O'Brien's had plenty.
141, she's had back-to-back tons, and she's in the red bit again. That is precisely what she needed, and the scoreboard tells its story there. O'Brien is in a great position to win this match now.
Yeah, she's toning down and just cutting that score down to something small. Plenty of time on this 141. 81 left. Maybe she knows what's in front of her. It's double 12.
What a great effort. What a great effort. That would have been for the match. And she'll come back double 6. All Fallon can do is try and hit something sizable, and she is doing, ton 40. But now it is double 6 for the match.
She's got it with the last dart, and she is absolutely ecstatic. Maria O'Brien has shocked us by taking out the bookies' favourite Fallon Sherrick 2-0. Look at that celebration from Maria O'Brien.
Absolutely. I mean, she really fancied it today, Maria O'Brien. For whatever reason, she's beaten Fallon in the past, and she knew that people were looking past her, overlooking her. I don't think Fallon was, but Maria really believed, and she went out and delivered. And she goes through after a terrific performance. Has to go down as one of the best wins on the biggest stage of all in her career.
Welcome back to the Lakeside. Another upset here on the stage this week. The number 6 seed, Fallon Sherrick, going down to a very confident performance from Maria O'Brien. Excellent stuff from Maria, who took out Dita Hedman in the first round. Remember, she is a force to be reckoned with in this tournament into the semi-finals. Let's hear from her now. She's with Georgie Bingham.
Thank you. And didn't you make it look easy? Maria O'Brien, congratulations. That went to plan, didn't it?
Thank you very much. No, I'm over the moon.
So I feel like you've gone under the radar a little bit. You weren't fancied against Dita, she was the favourite. Fallon again is one of the favourites. You are in the semi-final and you haven't been heavily backed. You must back yourself heavily.
You don't go up on the board to lose, so yeah, I back myself, but no, I'm over the moon. My form at the moment is just about getting there, so I'm really pleased.
At the right time. And next you play Mokuru Suzuki. I mean, the bottom half of the draw doesn't look like we expected, I think. How do you feel about that semi-final tie?
I take every game as it comes, so yeah, Mokuru is my stablemate for house style, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Big smiles all round. Congratulations to you. We'll see you in the semis.
Thank you very much. Can I say one thing? Hello to Rory, Fallon's son. Rory.
Lovely stuff. Cookie Monster looked pretty happy with the win as well there, Wolfie, in the background. A much better game, wasn't it, than the first one, and the stats support that. Look at that, 43% doubles from Maria O'Brien, 21-ton pluses as well. So she's into the semi-final, how about that? And she'll be playing Mikura Suzuki. What a week she's having. Wolfie, first she knocks out Lisa Ashton, how she's in the semi-final of the World Championship as well. We heard Georgie there talking to Maria about her under-the-radar status. Nobody gave her a huge amount of chance against Dita Hedman, and the same today because Fallon played so well in the first round. She's been very much one of those players with a lot of buzz about her this week. So Maria O'Brien quietly going about her business. She's not going to worry that people aren't hyping her chances up too much, is she?
Well, that's right. I mean, she plays against these girls, every month, out on the circuit. So, yeah, it's the expectations that we have as presenters and so forth. Because, expectation was Dita would win. Expectation was that Fallon would win. Maria, she don't agree with that. I'm going to win. Right. And she's taking it a game at a time, leg at a time, set at a time, match at a time, and that's the way to do it. And she seems to be very full of confidence because her game is going well.
Yeah, really is. It demonstrated that once again today. What were you telling me? What have you been telling me all week long, Wolfie? You can't take anything for granted up here on this stage, and the women's tournament is testament to that, isn't it? Shots everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised at Sharon Prinz, how can you put it? I suppose the word I'm looking for really is how scrappy it was, her game. Mokuru just a little bit of nerves. You could see her shaking her hands, trying to get the nerves out. Yeah. And then she settled down and came up with a very, very good win.
Yeah, really improved as the game went on, didn't she? Let's get on to the men's draw now, because that's where we're turning our attention to next on the stage, with Scotty Mitchell in action against Christoph Kachuk. Scotty looked so good in his first round, didn't he, against Oliver Ferenz. 95 average. And as you were saying after that game, Wolfie, he's very calm, he's very steady, very measured. You're always going to get the same Scotty in terms of temperament, aren't you?
Yeah, and it'll be exactly the same today. It'll be no different. He won't worry about who Kachuk has played. It'll just be, well, I've got to play him now, and I'm just going to do what I do and pace around as normal, like a stroll, and just, hit the tons and the shots out. If he's playing bad, he won't worry too much at the start. He knows he can get back into the match. It's best of 7 sets, plenty of time.
Speaking from one champion to another, when he isn't going your way on stage, and say he gets, a 2-set hole in this game, is that the kind of thing he's going to channel back to? Is he going to tell himself, I've won this whole thing before, I'm a champion, and draw on that?
Oh, yes, he will definitely draw on it. There's no doubt about that.
You do that when you're struggling.
I
remember who I am.
I remember distinctly going 2 sets down to Martin Atkins. I thought, well, OK, it's 2 sets. Win the next 3.
Yeah.
It was the best of 5. So in Scotty's case, he'll be looking at, well, got to win 4 sets. Nobody says which 4. Sure. Any 4 will do.
Absolutely right. Jim Williams up next for the winner. He's in fine fettle this week, isn't he?
He's playing brilliantly. He was my outside bet.
Yes, he was. You'll keep reminding us of that.
I'm still standing by that.
And wisely so.
Yeah, I mean, he destroyed Dean Reynolds. Destroyed him, I mean, he was just too solid. Dean had no answer to it. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
Let's not underestimate Kachuk as well. He's doing it the hard way, a qualifier, but hasn't looked phased at all. And he is, of course, one of those players, 3 players sharing that highest checkout at the moment. He's got a 160 under his belt on this stage this week.
He has indeed, yeah. I mean, at the moment, I think we've got a 3-way split on it. 3 players have had a 160 check. I don't think that will be the top one. I think it's either going to go 161 or 164 or even the 170. I don't think it'll be a 167 because it's left so rarely.
Well, Scotty Waits, after getting a 160 yesterday, said he's going to go for the 170 and try and bag all 5K. I'm not sure Christoph Kachuk will be thrilled about that. But he's got more important things to deal with next on this very stage, taking on a former champ, no less. Scotty Dog's got a lot of fans in here today. It's a great crowd this Thursday afternoon at the Lakeside. They're in for a treat. It's Mitchell Kachuk next. Welcome back to the Lakeside. You see Hulk Hogan at the bottom of your screen there. The champions are in today, that's for sure. Daydream Believer, a Lakeside favourite. Regaled Little Richard there by the Lakeside crowd this afternoon. Great crowd in, and they're ready to see another champion. Scotty Dog Mitchell looked in fine form in the first round. He continues his quest to get the title back, taking on Krzysztof Kachuk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2019 Lakeside World Championships, and we now return to the men's competition here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. We now introduce to the stage a BDO World Championship qualifier. Enjoying his Lakeside debut from Poland, the Thumb, Krzysztof Kachuk!
What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends. Gonna teach 'em all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry. It's about to be legendary. This is what we came for, and we couldn't want it anymore. Could never turn back now. Got to leave it all on the floor. Been dreaming of the payoff through the struggles and the trade-offs. Fighting tooth and nail on the way up. Tell them the truth, but they think it's just made up. And I think we got it all wrong. We just got it all wrong.
We now bring to the stage the captain of England, the current holder of 4 world ranking titles. He's the 2015 Lakeside World Champion, Scotty Dog, Scott Mitchell!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Who let the dogs out? 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 Who let the dogs out?
It was nice, the party was coming. And everybody having a ball. I tell the fellas starting in morning. And the girls we go to the car. A boy shout out.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
I see the young people at the balcony. Billy Bonders get down. Get back, Ruffy. Bash Ruffy. Get back, Ruffy. Invest in Mongrel.
Scott certainly launched that little Scotty Dog out into the audience. I thought it was coming towards our commentary box at one stage. I was almost leaning out to see if I could get hold of it. Anyway, Scott, 48 years old, big favourite for this one, Chris.
Yes, and rightly so. Some difference in their tournament averages so far. 94.64 Mitchell, 82.46 Kachuk.
Kachuk coming through.
A prelim, yeah.
Yeah, prelims against Brian Locken, and then a good performance against Dave Parletti, who in all honesty didn't do himself justice.
No, we expected big things for Parletti at this tournament, well, at least to get as far as this meeting, but Kachuk was solid when he needed to be. His timing and execution of shots when they matter has been very good so far, but I just think he's going to get outscored so heavily in this one. He's always going to be that throw behind, and the expectations will be to take out those big shots from 1-2-1 upwards.
Well, we've seen one big favourite beaten in Fallon Sherrick. Scott Mitchell is also quoted as short as 5-1 on.
Was that a bigger shock as what we thought? I mean, when you look
at
that.
I mean, I'd pointed up before it started, Chris, that I thought that Maria had a great chance in that game.
Well,
and
she's got a good, decent record.
2-2, yeah.
Well, yeah. She hasn't got a poor record against her, so it was only a matter of time before Maria Bryan actually went up there and played the darts we know she's capable of. Fallon was well off where we know she can operate, but a near 87 average for O'Brien was impressive.
Those of you who like to know the music that these guys come onto, Christoph came onto Legendary by Welshie Arms. Well, they need to have a fairly legendary throw. Great what you can do is Shazam, isn't it? So I don't have a knowledge of all this gibberish, but I have the means to find out.
100. Good stuff. I like it. For those of you wondering why Kachuk is called the Thumb, and he has a thumb on the back of his shirt, reliably
60.
informed, Kachuk means thumb.
In Polish.
Correct.
Wife Justina will be watching on somewhere in the crowd.
100.
Ah, the dog's been located on table 31, if anybody. No, you can't take that home. That is Scott's dog. He will want to see that again.
100.
Ton start for Mitchell. 2 tons and a 60. 60 ton for Kachuk. It's a bit of a flyer.
81.
Probably got a fair few dogs back home, Scott. He's a farmer, for those of you who don't know, lives down Dorset way.
Plays his county darts for Dorset.
97.
Teammate of mine many years ago when I was on my travels.
Big mate of Mark McGeaney, who had that poor performance yesterday, beaten by the Barbarian.
140.
And Scott was saying to me that, I'll tell you in a minute, let's just see if we can get this 144. Can't be done. He said that last time he played Mark McGeaney, he said he got annihilated. Yep. And apparently since then, Mark has changed darts.
Right, okay.
And Scott, needless to say, was saying, for goodness sake, go back to the old ones. Tops.
40.
Scott, a former winner here,
84.
2015. 14 ball. 1-0.
Not to be. Oh, Mitchell's already had 15 darts and now has tops for the first break and the first leg. Double 10.
Game shot on the first leg.
So he's away. And the worst possible start for Kachuk, losing his throw.
Scott also a winner of one of BDO's oldest current events. Carries quite a lot of clout, the Gold Cup. It was on the list for county players
83.
and internationals and potential pros along the way. Won that last year, 2018. Denmark Masters, England National Championships, York Cup pairs. Quite the season. Semi-finals in the World Masters also.
$125.
Good darts, good recovery after the first one, just straight into the 5. Winner of this one will play Jim Williams in the quarterfinals, and in theory could then, the winner of that one, move on to a semi-final if it all works out. It could be against the defending champion Glenn Durrance.
After what we've seen today, well, all week, almost impossible to predict. But I was impressed with Jim Williams last night.
Yeah, played well.
60. Scott, you require 153.
Glenn has given Jim a bit of a helping hand along the way, hasn't he? In previous years, and think that friendship, almost like a big brother sort of friendship, that'll go out of the window if it gets to them playing for a place in the final.
Yeah, well, we know two of tomorrow's quarter-finals. Conan Whitehead against Waits and Hunter Buckner against Willem Mandiggers. Winner of this one, as you said, John, will play Jim Williams tomorrow.
16.
And then tonight's matches, David Cameron against McKinstry and Durrant against Scott Baker.
Double four for 2-0. Nicely. 15 dart leg, 17 darter to start with, 15 darter to finish, and so often Mitchell, when he plays, is around that low 90s to mid 90s mark, and he's right on target. His average in this match, 93.94, which is pretty much where his tournament average is.
Spot on, John. I mean, I can remember him just not ever been able to win a match here, and he went to a sports psychologist. As they say, the rest is history.
First 180 of the match.
100. $45. $100. $60. $100.
Well, Scott's going to have a dip at 141, the traditional way in which you're finishing a potential 9 darter, so we all know the permutations and possibilities of taking that one out.
60.
And if he does take it, it's going to hurt Kachuk because it'll bring him the first set.
Treble 20. Would have been his first target. There you go, ball. 25 leaves 76.
97.
That's even better.
Christoph, you require 100.
Should. If Kachuk doesn't convert Nelson, 1-1-1 can still do this. Aye, aye, aye. Treble 17 tops. So, Mitchell. Rightly he'll go Motown, John, full tops.
Yes, I think he probably will.
Knocks his tops, doesn't he?
What do we know?
There we
Double
go.
16. Double 8. He was always going to be going down there when we talked about him going for tops, wasn't he? Anyway, that's the first set. 1-0.
Commentator's curse.
Solid start for Big Scott.
Game on.
Told me earlier in the week I'm back to my fighting weight. I put a bit on, and this is the sort of shape I was in when I won the world title. Comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah, well, he took a fair bit of weight off during the summer. He just said he just didn't feel comfortable. We've seen that before. We've seen Phil Taylor, regarded the greatest of all time. His form go up and down during those experimentations of weight loss. But the last 3 or 4 months, Mitchell has been showing signs to be a champion in waiting for a second time. I've been impressed with his form the last 3 or 4 months and his approach. And I had him shortlisted.
He's looking like a good thing here, isn't he? He's moving on very well.
121.
Kachuk, a web designer back in Poland.
Katowice, where he lives.
26.
stating the obvious, I guess, but the sooner he starts winning a leg or two, the better, because race to 4.
75.
Doesn't want to be going into the first interval 2-0 down.
Certainly got a chance. This leg of the second set. Got a good lead.
43.
Mitchell's lost his mojo.
Came through against Oliver Ferenc, the Serbian Scott Mitchell, in the last 32.
He's had a bit of a mini Mensa look about him, didn't he?
Yeah, Scott had a down spell there, didn't he? He lost a leg when he went off the boil. And in this leg, he's certainly struggling.
43.
15 darts thrown down to 229, so no pressure on the 75 for Kachuk. 25 leaves 50. Double 16. Not sure about that route.
43.
Each to their own.
That's a thumb on the back of Kachuk's shirt, not a ring pull.
Just in case Kachuk doesn't convert.
At last, he's into it. One double out of 6. And at last he gets his first leg of the match.
Game on.
Gates throw. A great chance to level the match up.
Big crowd in here at the Lakeside today. Appreciative and knowledgeable.
100.
Now they've seen the World Youth Final. What a precocious young talent there.
My goodness. Well, I don't think I can recall ever seeing anyone of that age.
140.
Oh, there's the trophy. That is the trophy for the World Youth Champion.
He wasn't there, John. He maybe had to go back to school. Leighton Bennett.
13 years old, he said. His hero is Rob Cross.
Frightening. Absolutely frightening, that performance.
44.
He looks like quite the little man when he's on stage, doesn't he? He looks so confident and celebrating like a seasoned pro. Talked him away from it, and then it's the young lad again. He really does sound like a 13-year-old. Next few years, it'll be fascinating to see how he develops as a player. He looks an absolutely prodigious young talent.
Best I've seen, John.
96.
A quiet year, Kachuk. Competed in many events. Came through the BDO World Qualifiers to take his place here at Lakeside.
100.
Well, he played Polish Open, lost last 32. And then won his qualifying place. Then competed in the World Masters, lost in the last 32 there. And then played in the Czech Open at the middle part of November.
156, it can be done. Not now though, so Kachuk looking to tidy it up
100.
and to hold his throw and go 2 legs up. 41 required, looking at 9. There it is, double 16. Is that going to be a good marker?
9.
He's been around quite a while. I call him playing in the PDC Worlds, a prelim. Around 2009 or 2010.
Game shot on the second leg.
Pinched one.
Scott Mitchell. Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Scott's wife and daughter will be out in the crowd somewhere, giving their support.
100.
And that's his first maximum.
Well, up until that second leg that he managed to pinch. He'd gone missing in this set.
92.
Good dart, that's 4 perfect darts.
81.
Seems to have got himself back on track. After, as you say, going missing, he's starting to score heavily again.
100.
Good leg this one. 140 after 9.
.46. Scott, you require 140.
So 140. Oh, great dart. Treble 20 again for double 10. But he's a mile in front.
100. .121. Scott, you require 40.
So tops to go ahead in the second set. Nicely done. That's 5 out of 10 for Scotty.
Fourth leg, it's Christoph to throw first. Game on.
Being the home of the BDO Championship, the World Championship Professional Darts since 1984 here. It's been Jollies down in Stoke before then. You ever go down there?
No, and the very first one was in Nottingham in 1978 that Leighton Rees won. Year after that, it went to Jollies.
What was the arena in Nottingham? Would it be the old skating rink before the big new stadium was built?
Sure.
Somebody somewhere will let us know. Somebody would have been there. Where's Bob Anderson when you need him? He'll know.
He certainly wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there, but he'll know. Bet Bobby does as well.
Eric plays in the first one as the favourite and got dumped out by an American called Conrad Daniels.
Good knowledge. But it's only happened once.
140.
Mitchell wins this one, and he takes the set. First to 3. Kachuk not on a finish.
I was trying to work out a while ago who won the World Championship on their debut and then came closest to defending it. And of course, the very first one was Leighton Rees.
He got to the final, didn't he?
Got the final following year, losing out to Lowy in '79.
$100.
And Burnett won on debut and I think lost following year to Barneveld or Beaton. One of them.
Double 16.
36. Scott, you require
141. Treble 20, first point of call, and he's missed it. So Kachuk coming back to level up the set at two apiece. Double 16.
60.
He's looking for.
Christoph, you require 32.
Scott not exactly rushing to get his darts out of the board, is he?
No, he takes his time.
$24.
Oh dear. Christina can't believe it.
81.
It's Christoph's wife. Treble 12, maybe. Bullseye now.
37. Christoph, you require
To level up the set. Oh, one inside.
The Madhouse named for a reason. Not always easy to nail that double one. Christoph finds it a problem. 44 needed. Double 16 again for Scotty. And in we go, that's a steal, but he takes the leg, and with it, he takes the set, and he's cruising along nicely. Scott Mitchell leads it by 2-0. Scott Mitchell is cruising along nicely. The big Dorset farmer, not absolutely in tip-top form today, but he's beating Krzysztof Kachuk pretty comfortably, and he carries a 2-0 lead in this race to 4. And thank you for all of you who've tweeted and emailed and messaged and all the rest of it to tell us where the first ever World Championship was, which Leighton Rees one, Bob Anderson,
40.
in contact. I knew he'd know. Darren Leatham as well, Jason Marriott, and a fair few more. It was in a club in Nottingham in 1978 called the Heart of the Midlands. And those of you who live in the city won't need any reminding, that is now still a famous nightclub, Rock City.
Yeah, it's a where they have a lot of bands there now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Good venue.
99.
Even an old crumbly like me knows that, and I have been there.
Might get another look at that
100.
trophy. And the winner,
young Leighton. Bit of a weight of expectation with a Christian name like that, isn't it?
There's an extensive list of events that the youths can play. I should imagine he will be completing in all of them. There's a BDO Youth County system where they get the chance to go on the county stages. England Youth Grand Prix events, WDF World Cups.
100.
Plenty out there for them to learn their trade.
Yeah, and he'll be hoovering up a fair number of them the way he played today.
Yeah, if he carries on playing like that, he'd be the dominant force. That just shows you what's possible, John, with a lot of commitment.
I loved the celebration when he just went almost leaping off the stage. It
reminded me a bit of Dean Winstanley's 9-dart one.
60.
Where he went absolutely nuts as well.
Reminded me a bit of Pat Cash winning at Wimbledon when he went vaulting up into the box.
I'm sure his instinct was just to run to his family and celebrate with them.
140.
Yeah, it's lovely to see.
A very nice bonus of £5,000.
141, can't be done.
I didn't know what £50 looked like when I was 13.
60.
I was still doing a paper round.
Christoph, you require 89.
Double 5. No.
84.
So the break of throw beckoning again for Mitchell.
Scott, you require 81.
He's only won the one leg, Kachuk, so far. 12 ball then for Mitchell, treble 12, double 13. It's a ball. 1-0.
Game shot the first.
Beautifully done.
Scott Mitchell.
There he is. He'll never forget that day. His first ever 180 on stage and winning his first big trophy. And my word, it is a big one as well.
His first world title, yeah, it's a replica of the original men's world championship trophy.
60.
I think he might have his name on that one a few times.
Lovely for him to have it presented to him by the current world champion Glenn Durrant. I had a chance to have a quick word with Glenn as he was making his way back to the hotel, and he said he is a talent. He really is. Glenn in action tonight, trying to move onwards towards the quarterfinals, playing Scott Baker, player from well, you used to be in his neck of the woods, didn't you, in the West Midlands?
Yep, sure did. Can have his hands full tonight though with Glenn, I fear. But a big travelling crowd from Tipton and surrounding areas will be down. The coach loads of them supporting Scott. A popular young man.
Can you do the West Midlands accent?
Yeah, man, no. What do I mind? I lived there for 10 years and they used to say to me, I talk funny. Well.
It is one of the most distinctive accents, isn't there? And if you're a black countryman and people accuse you of having a Brummie accent, you know, that is a huge insult. They take big exception to that.
100.
Down to 101 for 2-0.
Kachuk only averaging just over 80. And he's paying the price for low scoring, not getting into this match.
Well, looking at his career, he doesn't play a lot of darts. He plays 4 or 5 events a year and then go missing. And he's done that since 2009. Double 12.
77.
That would have been for a 101.
I think with the way Kachuk has been playing, he will be back.
Correct. Double 12 then it'll be for Scott Mitchell. cogs are turning in the head of the web designer. Christoph Kachuk leaves himself on 96, but I suspect it's going to be academic, and it is.
Mitchell, the winner, as I said, in 2015. Our colleague, who was the pundit for this, Martin Adams, beaten 7-6 in a cracking final.
99.
Almost down to the wire.
Mitchell poised to go 3-0 up. He's averaging 87.5 with a 53% checkout rate on his doubles. Kachuk's doubles have been a nightmare, 1 out of 16.
Well, Mitchell would be pleased to get over the line, John, but he'd be 100% disappointed with his big scoring. He's only at 3 140s and 1 180.
55.
Look at this for a stat. The 100-plus column, 24 for Mitchell, just 6 for Kachuk. That's where the game's been won and lost. Just been a little bit more solid, if not spectacular.
Reminder, Jim Williams lying in wait as a quarter-final opponent for the winner of this one. And if it is to be Scott, he's going to have to up his scoring against Jim, who's looked very sharp indeed here.
140.
Whitewash victory against Dean Reynolds after a first-round struggle against Roger Janssen. Mark McGeaney, who went out last night, said that in his opinion, Jim Williams is the best player in the world this year.
It's quite a statement. If that's the case, he'd have been the #1 seed.
100.
Crowd's been pretty respectful and well behaved today. There was a little bit of barracking during the McGeaney match last night, which was unfortunate. And unfortunate that Mark heard it and of course bit, and I think he lost concentration.
And it was 100% not any of the Conan Whitehead fans, and Conan was frustrated about that because he didn't want, you know, people to think it was part of his support system.
54.
Well, he's left on 52. 160 can be done, still can be done. Needs another for tops.
Done it once.
Oh, if he got it again, would he have got a bigger share? I think not. If you get 160 twice and there's other people, anyway, never mind. You know what I mean. Tops. And that is the set. 3-0 now. Scott Mitchell leading, and only one more needed, and it's turning out to be a pretty easy progress for the forward
session, hasn't it? Not even been stretched. Averaging late 80s, which just seems to be all he needs to do. He's not apt to find another gear.
123.
England team captain Scott, very proud of that as well, takes it seriously, loves it.
Certainly does.
140.
It's better, more of the same Kachuk needs to mount some sort of improbable recovery.
60.
Likes his speedway, Scott Mitchell, as well. And his
yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Nigel Pearson told me all about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
And he used to, don't know if he still does. He used to take a fairly keen interest in Bournemouth as well, the football club.
96.
Last match of the afternoon, this one. And the fun resumes at 7 o'clock.
98.
David Cameron against Kyle McKinstry, Glenn Durrant against Scott Baker, and the two remaining women's quarter-final matches.
140. Scott, you require 124.
Anastasia against Aileen de Graaf, and Lorraine Winstanley against Trina Gelliver.
I've seen a few players state a claim for the title. Jim Williams, Conan Whitehead yesterday. Will Durrant come out tonight and make a statement of his own?
I don't think there was too much wrong with Scott Waits' performance. Very solid. And that would have been 116, so 84 now. This is for a hold of throw.
Oh, he's missed the 14. So 13 to leave tops, 53 left.
44.
With a little smile to himself.
Christoph, you require 18.
Oh, this is a break of throw. Kachuk. And he's got it. Double 9.
Christoph Kachuk.
Richard Veenstrup watching on. He was the man who was beaten by Scott Waits last night.
Yeah, he didn't perform.
No, he didn't. He's an in and out sort of player, though, isn't
Streaky.
he? Scott sort of got stronger the further the match went.
He did. Leg on leg, he improved. Set on set.
Heavyweight battle when he goes in against Conan Whitehead. And I think most people had favoured Scott to prevail there.
Well, we
But then-
favoured McGeeney, didn't they?
Exactly.
And he didn't just get, you know...
Well, he got whacked, didn't he?
Whitehead did a job on him, and he was very impressive, averaged 96 and change. Some great finishing.
He's not exactly reading the script, is he? So somebody says, Jackie's still here.
Doesn't miss a dart.
Doesn't miss too many rounds either. He likes likes enjoying himself.
140.
Probably get my knuckles wrapped for saying that. And he stands his corner as well. Not one of those who hangs around waiting for somebody else to dip their hand into their pocket.
82.
Chance here for Mitchell to break straight back. A couple more of those. It becomes a reality.
140.
Well, he's nicely placed. 121. It's a good cover shot.
96.
So 121, this for the
Scott,
immediate
you
break
require
back.
121.
Treble 17 to leave the bull. Can't be done.
57.
Well, he nearly took out 160, so what's he going to do with 142?
Triple 20. Can't do it now. So back comes Mitchell.
90.
Should be
Scott,
16s,
you
John.
require 64.
Treble 8 leaves tops. Treble 16 leaves double 8.
Double 16 it is then. It's just
32.
outside the wire. Can't get much closer.
Christoph, you require 52.
Same route. Same outcome. What's this going to do? Missed.
20.
That's for 2-0.
Scott, you require 32.
But his last real chance has gone there. Double 8.
Been a part of this match. It's been very good for Mitchell. Was over 50% until that point.
Christoph, you require 32.
Double 16 again.
Game,
Nicely done, and it is 2-0.
Christoph Kachuk.
Yeah, you can take your hand away now. He's got it. You're allowed to look.
The wives and partners really do go through the mill. Throw every dart.
100.
Well, she'll know more than anybody just how much it means to Christoph if he were to win this against one of the real big names of the BDO world.
84.
Bob Anderson is teasing us, Johnny. He wants to know how many England captains there have been and who are they?
Well, I suspect he's probably the only man in the world who knows that. He's written it down. Absolutely no idea.
No, I'd need to sit down with a pen and paper.
And a computer.
Yeah.
41.
Is he just going to leave it hanging there? Is he going to put us out? Is he going to put us out of our misery?
He claims to.
Martin Adams is counting even as we speak.
140.
If anybody knows, he would. He was a former one. But if you do have any questions for myself, John, or Paul, or Wolfie, then please do get in touch via social media at BDO Darts, hashtag BDO Darts.
161.
I'll endeavour to answer any of your questions. Just try and keep them darts related and relatively clean.
97.
Miles in front, Mitchell, in this one. In terms of numbers of captains, I'm going to go for 15.
57. Scott, you require 64.
64 then, for a hold of throw, and reduce the deficit to just one. Double 16.
32.
He'll be back. Kachuk still way back on 272.
97. Scott, you require 32.
Should be now. Kachuk still not on a finish. Scotty can't find a double.
16.
Dear me. His double success rate is plummeting.
Well, it's down to just 9 from 25, John. He's missed a hatful in the last couple of legs.
99. Scott, you require 16.
Double 8 then. Still it's eluding him. Double 4. At last, breathes a bit of a sigh of relief.
Fourth leg, it's Christoph to throw first. Game on.
People wondering how the BDO system works. Well, have a look them up on bdodarts.com, asking if you can go to the events and go to all the events, including this one. You can go and watch as a spectator.
And be guaranteed a fun day out.
Oh, and a box seat. Obviously it's played on multiple boards. You can just walk around and sit by.
137.
Watch your favourite players. The vast majority of them are there. Also with loads of county Super League players.
$100. 60.
I think Wolfie's been pondering the captain's issue, and he reckons that there've been 8. 8 England captains. Next thing, I guess, he'd be to name them all.
170.
You're a bad man. So 170 for the set. And if he wins this set, I'll get my pen and paper out and I'll start going through them.
Help fill an hour or so before you start your preparation for tonight. Kachuk in a good position though to keep this match alive. 76 when he comes back, and that would take him the set.
Christoph, you require 76.
56 needed.
One
16
dart,
required.
for the set.
56.
Bit of a nervy one, wasn't it? Shanghai.
Scott, you require 120.
120. Treble, single, double. Tops it is. Oh, quality dart.
Well, we're waiting for him to produce something of that ilk, and there it is, a set saver, and now he's throwing for a 4-0 win.
Fifth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Wolfie knows all there is to know about
100.
about the England darts team.
Well,
what's
yes.
the great man
he should
giving
do.
us?
He was a long time captain himself. He was captain when I played. So he's got it down to 8. Alan Glazier, Eric Bristow, John Lowe, Bob Anderson, Dennis Priestley, Martin Adams, Tony O'Shea and Scott Mitchell. Only the 8.
100.
It was 7 out.
$137.
Scott can win the match in this leg. There was a bit of a feeling that 4-0 was certainly a possibility here, and it's looking as though he could well do that, but Kachuk still battling away.
85.
Ton 40 would be handy. Well, comes down to leave it on an even number.
No finish for Kachuk, so Mitchell will come back at 62.
So this is for the match for a place in the quarterfinals against Jim Williams. 62 for Scott Mitchell. Well, he's got treble 6, so single 12 would be required for double 16. Double 16. This is for the match.
46.
78 then for Kachuk
78.
to stay in the contest. Treble 18. Yeah, double 12, 2 darts in hand for the set. 6s.
And has it gone with that visit? That could be the end of his Lakeside. Mitchell now double 8. And there it is. Scott Mitchell goes through, averages 86, doubles 12 out of 30. And it turned out to be a very comfortable win indeed for the 2015 champion, who could still be the 2019 champion. He's got a quarter-final meeting with Jim Williams coming up tomorrow now, and he beats Kachuk by 4-0. Well played.
Hard work, talent and practice are obviously key components in Glenn Durrant's consistently excellent performances over the last couple of years. But an additional factor in his rise to darts prominence is his hypnotherapist and mental attitude coach, Steve McGibbon. Fresh from Glenn's victory over Mark McGrath, our cameras followed him in a one-on-one session with the champion.
You're a winner overall, a self-confident winner who accomplishes their goals. The trebles are bigger, the doubles are bigger. Invincible, undefeatable, world champion, over and over again.
That is a wonderful dart to give him one match dart, and it's all he needs.
Everything. So to have somebody.
Our first visit.
Of titles on Sunday remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, he's in the right frame of mind to do it.
Taking care of business, Scotty Dog, former champion, looking to get his hands back on that trophy. Straightforward stuff against the qualifier, Christoph Kutschuk. The England skipper is with Georgie.
Scott, congratulations. The scoreline says that was an absolute thrashing, but I don't feel it was quite as comprehensive as your last round win.
No, I think I probably overthought that game. You know, I know that Christoph was here for his first time, and he would have been over the moon with how far he's got already. And everybody else in the draw are going, well, Scotty's going to breeze this a piece of cake. So there's a certain amount of pressure to that. And nobody told me it, but I know what everybody's thinking. I'm not a silly man.
Well, you're through nonetheless. In between your last time and this one, you've been home to near Bournemouth and been working, and you take the tournament a little bit differently to most people, I think.
I've had to this year. I'm a tenant farmer now, so you know, we got a farm sat at home, and my son's there and doing everything. And on Tuesday, while I was playing, he said, you know, that the goats have got their head stuck in the wire, and so I went home, and Sharon and I were both out there fencing yesterday trying to, we put a lovely bit of stock wire up, but it seems that as the horns are growing, they can get their head through, but they can't get it back through.
Of course they can't.
Of course they can't. Everybody in the world knows that. So I've had to put some chicken wire up to keep them in as well. So yesterday, Sharon and I were fencing.
Well, you can't explain to goats you're playing darts, can you, I guess? Jim Williams next for you. What do you think about that tie?
I think Jim knows and I know what we've got to do, and that won't be anywhere near good enough if I turn up and play like that against Jim tomorrow. So I posted a magic average in the first one, and you're always sort of like then looking like the red hot favourite for this one. So it's just, I'm just happy to scrap it out and get over the line.
Well, you did. Congratulations. We'll see you in the next round.
Not everybody plays on Friday at Lakeside. It's so cool. It's unbelievable.
Well, Mace said this was won and lost with some big scoring. Even if Scotty wasn't happy with his average, look at that 37 ton plus his 7 140s as well, 40%. Reasonable enough on the doubles. Unfortunately for Christoph Kutschuk, who looked so good earlier on in the week, just not at the races whatsoever. Solid from Scotty. You should do a bit more farming at this rate, mate. Incidentally, have you ever got your head stuck in a wire?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Through a few doors maybe, but no, not a wire. Yeah, he just didn't get pushed. You know, when you're playing somebody who was as poor as Kutschuk was, there's nothing really to feed on. You know, sometimes you'll go up there and you'll play out your skin and win 4-0. Sometimes you just need that bit of a push. And he didn't get one, so he just does what Scott does best, he plods.
What went wrong for Kachuk, and was it inexperience that factors in when you find yourself in a bit of a hole? A more experienced player, or experienced and used to this environment, can maybe dig themselves out more easily?
He doesn't play enough. He sort of plays 4 or 5 events in a season and then goes missing. And he's done that throughout his career. As far back as 2009, he played in a prelim at the PDC World Championships and then went missing for about 3 or 4 years. So maybe he has more commitment to soft tip darts or work. He's a web designer by trade, so maybe he just can't get enough time, you know, to play enough events. But he only averaged slightly less than his tournament average anyway, so right. I'm not that surprised that he played to that standard, and all someone had to do against him was find another sort of 5 or 6% on their average, and they would have taken care of him in the early rounds.
Sets up an interesting quarter-final with Jim Williams, who, as we've seen, Nico's in very decent form at the moment.
Yeah, just a bit, and Scott hit the nail on the head there, didn't he, saying that if he averages that, I get the feeling that Jim Williams will do a job at him, but more often than not, like Mace says, when someone pushes you and gives you that sense of urgency, you do tend to find the right things at the right moments. I think that's going to be a cracking match.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, someone else in that side of the draw, of course, is the current champion, Glenn Durrant. He's been in irresistible form here at Lakeside over the last couple of years, posting back-to-back championships, and he attributes that success significantly down to his mental strength and mental focus, and part of that is because he's been seeing a hypnotherapist to get him in shape for the big tournaments. Georgie Bingham found out a little bit more.
Hard work, talent and practice are obviously key components in Glenn Durrant's consistently excellent performances over the last couple of years. But an additional factor in his rise to darts prominence is his hypnotherapist and mental attitude coach, Steve McGibbon. Fresh from Glenn's victory over Mark McGrath, our cameras followed him in a one-on-one session with the champion.
You're a winner overall, a self-confident winner who accomplishes their goals. The trebles are bigger, the doubles are bigger. Invincible, undefeatable, world champion, over and over again.
That is a wonderful dart to give him one match dart, and it's all he needs. Great performance.
I wouldn't have won that game without your help. The breathing exercises, you know, the thought behind while he's playing there, the doubles that I was hitting there, a lot of that is thanks to you. Darts, 80% is mental, and right now I'm right at the top of my game, and you know, I wouldn't be winning these tournaments without the support of you, and I listen to my tape all the time. I wait for my text message from you, and it's a massive, massive help to me, and maybe that's why I'm world champion.
It's been a pleasure working with you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
McGibbon seems to have the formula to help darts players cope with the stress and strain of the big occasion and assist them to achieve focus. And he works with a number of sportsmen, including top darts players such as informed Jim Williams, Tony O'Shea and Scotty Mitchell.
And don't get me wrong, I was so sceptical about this, I didn't think that it would work for me. I'm a farmer's lad, you know, we know everything. So to have somebody then tell you that they can do what they do, I didn't believe it, but I felt at the time there was no reason why not to try it.
Initially in 2011, I was suffering with obviously nerves, but I just needed to calm down and relax a bit more. So it started off as relaxation, and I had a session with him at his studio in Belfast. I flew over there, obviously I was there for the Northern Ireland Open. And literally 24 hours later I won the Northern Ireland Open, and I don't think I dropped a leg that day. I won the pairs on the Sunday the day after, so my first visit was money well spent. There's little breathing exercises. I mean, there's so much. It's not just hypnotism. It's just relaxing you and giving you self-confidence. And obviously the word spread. He's got quite a few clients now.
You can't go to him and think within 3 weeks you're going to be world champion. That isn't how it works. That is not how it works. So, and I've heard of people go to him and he's done the same thing with them, and after 4 weeks they go, well, this doesn't work. Because that's not the way that it works. It's a long-term thing. It's about you developing you.
Whether Glenn Durrant can achieve his ultimate ambition of landing a hat-trick of titles on Sunday remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, he's in the right frame of mind to do it.
Let's start with the basis that darts is 80% mental. Are we all agreeing with that?
Probably more.
Probably.
But once you've sort of gone through your apprenticeship and you know how to throw darts and you know you can throw it at the highest level, it can only be a mental problem. I know Steve, I've known him for a while, and he said to me, "Come on, let's work together." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not."
Skeptical.
I wasn't particularly interested. But in the years that have gone past, and I've researched and I've looked into it, and I get the opportunity now to meet sports stars from so many different fields. It literally is now. Even runners, even people that do sports that are more physical, they rely on the mental side of that.
Paul, I'm guessing, based on conversations we've had, that you completely buy into this. But are you surprised that it isn't more widespread and there isn't more? We talk about hypnotherapy specifically here, but sports psychology generally isn't more prevalent in the game.
I think mental health and mental well-being in these situations are a very big topic right now. I think people like that hypnotherapist are very, very important for people to get better. And Tony talked about the stress, and he just needed to calm down. I think if you look at Leighton Bennett, for instance, who won the youth championship this afternoon, you could say, well, what could possibly go wrong? Well, the thing is, this can go wrong over the course of time. Ability, you always have it on some level, but you're going to have ups and downs mentally, and sometimes you need someone's help. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help, whether it's to do with your well-being away from the hockey or on it. Otherwise, you might find yourself coming a cropper, but if you use someone, ordinarily, it'll help you get better.
Coaching in sports psychology and darts is getting bigger and bigger. As our sport's getting bigger and bigger, and we're being taken more seriously. Those aspects of our game is getting bigger and bigger. Look at Ronnie O'Sullivan. Look what happened with Mark Williams in the snooker. Went to see the Sight Right guys and improved his game. Won a world title after about 11 or 12 years. Ronnie O'Sullivan is now using the same guy, Steve Feeney. I mean, that's not a coincidence. So there's got to be something in it. And like with Tony O'Shea said there, he had one session with him, and the next day he felt the difference already.
Sure.
Maybe just down to breathing techniques. A lot of players won't breathe when they throw a dart, but if you're not breathing, oxygen to the brain, it can scatter your mind.
It's all about, or a lot of it rather, is about being up here. But then the week as a whole, if you're in a tournament like the BDO Worlds, you got game after game, you got to suddenly concentrate, then relax and turn off your brain a bit as well. So just tournament psyche is fundamental, of course, to a deep run.
Yeah, I think it all boils down to pacing yourself through the course of the week. And we talk about people who've won this tournament and how they've won it, and they know how to do it again. Well, they get into certain habits, don't they? You look at Scott Waite, who doesn't practice here. He practices elsewhere. You find a formula that works, and more often than not these days, we're finding people saying that part of their formula is mental coaching or doing meditation. Anything that helps you get that extra 1%, it could come down to that.
I honestly believe my back-to-back runs to the semi, if I'd have, I was mentally exhausted.
Yes.
And I think if I'd have found a way, or had a coach that would have said, right, this is the things you've got to do, this is the things you're not going to do, I think everything could have been so much more different.
And that age as well, you were young, and we heard this in the World Cup, England taking a young squad, and it not so much the physical exhaustion, but the mental exhaustion, Really interesting stuff. Now, Glenn Durrant in action tonight, of course. The champion looking for his third straight BDO World title, taking on Scott Baker. That is the final game of the evening. The women's quarterfinal continues with the number 1 seed, Lorraine Winstanley, taking on the 10-time champion, Trina Gulliver. Two players who took down seeds in the first round square off. David Cameron, Carl McKinstry. They're locking horns for a place in the quarterfinals. The final women's quarter sees Anastasia Dobromyslova against Aileen de Graaf. And as I said, Glenn and Scott wrapping things up on stage. We are live from 7 o'clock tonight, of course, on Eurosport. Let's recap what we've seen in this afternoon's session, and what a start it was. Leighton Bennett, a sensational performance to kick things off on this very stage. Our new BDO World Youth Champion, Mikura Suzuki, what a week she's having. She took out Lisa Ashton, of course, in the first round. Now she's in the women's semi-final, where she'll face Maria O'Brien, who upset the odds and took down the heavily rated Fallon Sherrick in straight sets. And of course, Scotty Dogg similarly beating his opponent 2-0, 4-0 the final score there. Got to wrap things up by celebrating the performance we saw at the top of the afternoon. Leighton Bennett, just 13 years old, Chris, and it could have been a season prior up there with 3 or 4 men's world titles under his belt.
He was like that. He played like that. His mannerisms were that of someone that's been up there and done it all before. And of course, he does play in he plays in a men's system as well as playing in a youth system. But yeah, he's very, very exciting. It's almost scary how good he is at such a young age.
Yeah, how composed he was.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about nerves and the mental side of the game. Just 13, fearless performance. And what a way of a celebration
was
as well.
unbelievable.
He won everybody's hearts in here. There's no doubt about that. We were talking at the top of the show. Rob Cross was in the house, of course, and keen interest in that game. We were talking about the importance, Paul, of the BDO in terms of player development. There are going to be kids watching that who are going to obviously be completely inspired and motivated. And there's got to be a really fluent system to get them through. The BDO has to remain a strong organisation to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. They have to look after the grassroots of the game. And ultimately, I think the grassroots of the game are, kids maybe of Leighton's age to start playing darts. Not to actually win his first title, but this is the great thing about having parents who are interested in the game. It's the parents' responsibility to find the right home for those kids to play in a safe environment. There are lots of academies around the country. There are lots of county systems and county tournaments for them to go to. If they're interested, get them a set of darts and give them a try. And there are ways for them to improve. I think the most important thing is that they have safe places to play and everybody's accredited, so don't be afraid of that. It's a really exciting future for the youth system and for potentially the next generation.
Yeah, maybe we could sit down with a representative of the BDO and go through it, because the amount of questions you get, not just from older players, well, how do I start playing county? How do I start playing Super League? Which league should I play in? And the information is out there, but if you don't really know what you're looking for, it can be a bit daunting.
If someone's watching now, Mason, their kids are interested, or even if, hey, look, you can never be too young to start or too old to start. Maybe, you're grown up and you think, I want to try my hand at that. Whether you're going to end up here or not is another matter, but where do you start? Where do you go?
Well, mainly you would just start playing some league darts, so just in your local pub or club. They usually have a team. The next step up from that would maybe play Super League, which is played over a slightly longer format. All your darts are recorded and you get an average. If your average is good enough, you'll get picked for County B. If you then improve again, County A. If you then improve again, you can get picked internationally. Then outside of that, the BDO has ranking events literally all over the world, hundreds of them all over the world. And then you can just go onto the BDO's website. You'll look down the calendar, pick which ones you want to enter. There's an entry system on there, so you can just enter direct or from a link, and then get your accommodation, get practicing, turn up and have a go.
That's what we love about it, of course. People rocking up from all over the world, qualifying and getting themselves deep into the tournament. Excellent stuff. Once again, fellas, we'll see you at 7 o'clock. We'll see you guys then as well. The evening session gets underway on Eurosport from 7. Look forward to it.